Welcome to another Friday night, Saturday night. Scratch that. Unfiltered yesterday was full of Christmas decorations. No time to prep. That's what we're going to call this stream. No time to prep. But I had plenty of time to prep late last night and today. And man, oh man. So we're not talking toys tonight, kids. There is a stream going on right now, Oz's Clubhouse. I'm sure some people will be bouncing back and forth, and I'm sure that will be a lovely discussion amongst many gents. However, this night is reserved for talking about more serious things, mainly the attacks that happened in Las Vegas and down in New Orleans. And there's information I wanted to pull up. Just I want to talk about it, get into it a little bit. A lot of facts, a lot of fiction going on. I've got an interesting story about a local reporter who somehow had access to the house in New Orleans after the sheriff's department was there, and is just all over the crime scene. I've got that video pulled up. I've got visual timeline of what happened, just to kind of go through it and get an idea of what's happening, and then that leaves us to speculate a little bit. I do have some Hollywood news a little bit, and I've got some a couple things going on with BlackRock purchasing a shit ton of Bitcoin. I have the emails, Eric. We're going to watch that video too. I have all this stuff saved, so plenty of time to prep. I am curious about all of it, and so we're gonna get into it. Definitely, it's really interesting stuff, and it makes you wonder just what in the hell is going on in the world today. Both of these guys were military guys, one ex, one current. That's interesting in and of itself. And then, like I said, aside from that, I've got a few other things to pull up, some stuff out of, I call it DC news, but really it's just a little bit of political news. Elon Musk making some tweaks to Twitter, which I don't think is going to please very many people. China's dealing with another outbreak, so to speak. Non-emergency at this moment, but that could change, right? Just as it did not too long ago. And then up-and-coming video games for next year, for those of you interested. And then I have a idiots of the day and some funny little videos, short stuff to watch, just to make fun of some people, I guess. But anyway, so without further ado, let's do further, and let's get into our chat. Got a few people coming in right now. Let's see. Daredevil Dave. If you're not first, I guess you're second. That's a famous Dale Earnhardt quote or something like that. Second place is first loser. I remember the Dale Earnhardt movie that was produced and made by ESPN. It was one of the worst things I'd probably ever seen at that time. Frostbite's G.I. Joe Repro. What's going on, man? 3-star draw. Chips ahoy. It is a rowdy lot of vagabonds, especially ones tuning in here, because it's not, just not just toys or Hollywood news. We'll be doing another stream with Matthew coming up on Tuesday, one with 3-star draw on Wednesday. And that's where we'll get into all that good stuff, Hollywood and action figures. Dreadnought K6 is here. What's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Aaron the Toy Enhancer is here. What's up, gents? Got the nice fart emojis, a little fire. Then is that like lighting your farts on fire? Is that I've seen that one time in my life, and it was from my neighbor, and it did light. Luckily he had jeans on, but it actually did light. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions is in the house. What's up, brother? Yeah, Dreadnought, it is whack in Vegas and Louisiana, that's for sure. People losing their minds or being indoctrinated, or who knows what it is, but we'll try to piece some of it together off the information that we've gotten. And I do find it really interesting, actually, because we've gotten a lot of information in both of these cases, and it brings me to a case that happened here in Nashville that makes me really curious about information release. and I'll get into that just a little bit, my thoughts on that that happened a couple of years ago here. But yeah, we'll get into it. So let's see here, Eric Thurman. Hope I didn't miss you there, buddy. Good to see you, man. So yeah, so Saturday night, making up for last night. I apologize. It just was not a good day for taking Christmas decorations down, starting at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that took about 5 hours, roughly, as a process, to say the least. So, anyway, let's see here. Let me get me a little music going. What's my little jam from back in the day that I always pull up? Yeah, there we go. We cruising. Let's kick it down a little bit, Otis. Come on. There you go. All right, Otis, kick it down. I got my fireplace going in the background, nice and toasty. All right. So it is good to see everybody here. Like I said, man, if anybody's stream hopping and all that stuff, I fully understand. Most definitely. It is a Saturday night, and so I fully get it. People want to kind of bounce around, see what's going on. So, but if we hit on anything that you find interesting, then throw up a like, definitely, and chat away, my friends. I'll try to catch as much as I can while you guys are bouncing back and forth. But let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. These New Year's attacks. Is the world going crazy? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. And Clint Jorgensen slides in here. What's going on, man? Okay, just to give you a little background, or not even background on me, but I was very pleased with the election. I'm just gonna say that right now. If you don't know that, if you can't tell by some of my streams and stuff that I've said, then it's maybe you just haven't caught that. But I also think that with a majority vote and everything, that most people were kind of wanting a return to normality, right? A return to kind of common sense and stuff like that. Now, whatever other issues in there, but just the bottom line, brass tacks, is all the silliness that's been going on the last 4 years. I think people are kind of, they're over it. And it's interesting that one of these attacks was from someone who kind of, was a Trump supporter, considering where this happened, and also being in the military, not related to the Bourbon Street attack. They both served in Afghanistan, evidently not together, not anywhere near each other, but nonetheless, both were military men, and maybe on opposite ends of the spectrum on some things, and maybe together in others. What's going on, Joe Fan 84? And so it is interesting to me that both of these things happen, but they're not linked. And you would have thought, considering that they were both linked together. Now, we did get, let's say, let's just pull this one up just to give you guys an idea. All right. So let's just go through the Cybertruck explosion timeline. Okay. So this is what we do know. Matthew Livelsberger, 37 years old, identifies the person who rented the Cybertruck days earlier in Colorado. As a matter of fact, we have the truck right here, obviously post-explosion. Said because the remains of the person found dead inside the vehicle after it exploded were badly burned, officials said they could not conclude with complete certainty that that's who it was, but they had enough evidence to believe he was the driver. The blast happened Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. in front of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. It's believed that he shot himself in the head immediately before detonation. All right. So those things are pretty certain. I would say when they're assessing a crime scene, they've seen it all. And so those things are certain. Now, however, it said at the time, despite striking similarities, authorities said they don't have any evidence the explosion is connected to the attack in New Orleans hours earlier. And his motive remains, it says here, Levelsberger's motive remains known. I'd say that's unknown. Of course, you can't read an online article anymore without a misspelling or typo or something anymore. I guess they don't have proofreaders and editors. But it says, here's what we do know about his movements with the Cybertruck leading up to the blast. Okay, the truck was rented days earlier in Colorado. They give you a timeline here of kind of where his path from Colorado to Las Vegas. December 28th, he rents the Cybertruck in Denver using the peer-to-peer car rental platform Turo. Now, I'm not familiar with Turo. Maybe some of y'all are, and you've used that platform. It's been a long time since I rented a car. I just have had no need to rent a car. Even making Clint or spell check. Just look at any article today. Any article, they all contain something. It's quite amazing. But anyway, I've never used that app. Thank you, USA Today. It says the Cybertruck is charged in Monument, Colorado. Also that day, he legally purchased 2 semi-automatic handguns. All right. And then according to an agent in charge of the ATF. All right. So December 31st. So you've got December 30th, so the 28th to the 31st. The Cybertruck was charged in Trinidad, Colorado, Las Vegas, let's see, New Mexico, Albuquerque. Why does it say Las Vegas, New Mexico? Is there a Las Vegas, New Mexico? Am I missing something? Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Gallup, New Mexico. The Cybertruck was charged on January 1st in Holbrook, Flagstaff, and Kingman, Arizona. One final charge was made at 5:33 a.m. in Arizona, about 100 miles away. You see the picture here of him turning. Now, he made a couple loops, went to a couple other places, probably got it scoping out the scene here. It says it was first spotted in Las Vegas at 7:29 a.m. And Turk Murphy says, yes, there is a Las Vegas, New Mexico. That is the first time I've ever heard of that. But thank you. The Cybertruck seen turning on the Fashion Show Drive, location of the Trump International Hotel. Now, between 7:34 and 8:35, it pulled through the valet and then spent the next hour driving to different locations along Las Vegas Boulevard. Spent nearly 45 minutes in the parking lot of a nearby business near Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo Road. And then at 8:55, it's spotted pulling in onto Las Vegas Boulevard from the Sands Avenue, and then again pulls into the valet area of the Trump Hotel. 17 seconds. So within 17 seconds, the truck explodes. Says the driver shot themselves in the head immediately before the detonation. 7 other people were injured. I don't think that none, seriously. So that's kind of a just a rundown of the timeline. Now, let's see here. So let me go into right here. All right. So now, there's a couple other things involved with this that I find quite fascinating that I want to get to. All right. Get rid of that. Let's get this. Because there's some interesting stuff with this particular attack. All right. Go ahead. All right. So, driver who exploded Cybertruck in Las Vegas railed about political grievances and domestic issues before suicide. Now, this is a CNN article. It's interesting. He was a Bronze Star recipient. Okay. Wrote of political grievances, armed conflicts elsewhere, and domestic issues in the days leading up to his suicide. The writings were found in the cell phone of Matthew Allen Levelsberger, the truck's driver. All right, that's what the sheriff said of the Las Vegas police. Speaking of which, when asked if, never mind, I'll get to that in New Orleans. But anyway, in one letter, the driver of the Cybertruck said the incident was intended not as a terrorist attack. So that's critical, just from a language aspect, right? Not intended as a terrorist attack, but rather a wake-up call, according to police. He wrote in the letter recovered by investigators that Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. Fireworks and explosives were his best ways to get his point across. Which, if you think about it, generally speaking, when there's a manifesto, right, or there's some kind of letter, there's something, yes, something like this would be a way to get your point across. Because a lot of times it can feel like, you could cry out, you could call out, you could talk all day long, but nobody's really listening, right? And then something like this happens, of course it's going to gain the attention, and of course, in this particular instance, you're going to get your message heard, which again, I'm going to get to here in a few minutes with something that happened here in Nashville that I find quite interesting. So in that letter containing more than 400 words, Levelsberger, let's just say that, wrote that he needed to cleanse his mind of the brothers I've lost, other military men and women, and relieve himself of the burden of the lives I took, which he spent time in Afghanistan and maybe other parts, so that's not uncommon. He said the U.S. was terminally ill and headed towards collapse. He also expressed support for President-elect Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Robert F. Kennedy. So, first and foremost, and this is a CNN article, I would have expected them to maybe omit those facts. But after the election, probably not. So first and foremost, we understand that even though this happened outside the Trump Hotel, maybe that being the target because he is president-elect, but this was not someone unhappy with him. This was not someone unhappy with his choices of cabinet and whatnot. This was somebody in support. So this is a different reason. This is a different reason why this gentleman did what he did. And real quick, let me look at the chat just to kind of catch up a little bit here and see what you guys are saying here. Joe Fan says, I heard that the build of the truck kept most of the blast upward. And that's very possible. I have not seen that, but I don't doubt that one bit. I definitely don't doubt what you have actually heard about that. Turk Murphy says, the test, the last truck saved the day on its construction. The test lasted, truck saved the day. Tesla truck. Okay. Right. It's possible that just the way it's made. And then Clint Jorgensen, Eddie Guerrero is from Las Vegas, New Mexico. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. And Joe Fan, I don't like the doorstop, but it held the blast back some at the least. Yeah, that obviously seemed to actually help a lot, and also too, there's not a ton of people outdoor. If you see the video of it, it's not like there's a ton of people outside at that moment, which at the very least may have been on purpose. We don't know. But that could have been on purpose, right? And then, let's see here. Turk says, I heard that the fellows who tried to shoot Trump and these two fellows recently were known to have visited Fort Bragg. I don't know that. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that. But also, too, the interview with one of the service members saying it's highly out of character. A lot of people said it was out of character. His neighbors said it was out of character. People that knew his wife and his ex. and him and his current wife, and said that they were fine and didn't seem anything wrong, and they love his wife, and they seemed like nothing was off, right? So a lot of times that's how this stuff goes, right? I mean, unless it's someone. It seems, as you read further, as we find out further, that he may have suffered, suffered from PTSD, and some mental anguish from being in the military and doing what he had done for many years, right? He's, active military. And, I've got friends and people I know, and it's not easy. And they do suffer a lot of stuff, man. It's not easy. So in a second shorter letter that investigators released Friday, and again, they released another letter, right? So they're actually giving us facts. They're giving us information. Now, after the drones find over New Jersey that we can't find out any fucking information about, but we're finding all kinds of information out about this shit, right? I find that fascinating. In a second, shorter letter that investigators released Friday, the writer called for action to remove Democrats from both the federal government and the military. Okay, so this is a Trump supporter. This is a Republican by all measures of it. All right, that letter, which investigators believe also was written by Livelsberger and had fewer than 125 words, included the possibility of occupying roads and federal buildings, not ruling out the use of force. So we don't know everything in that one yet, but I'm assuming we'll get there. Okay, we'll get there. And yeah, I agree with you, Dreadnought. It all stinks to high heaven. This shit definitely does. And Turk, isolated incidents. These guys just decided to do dumb shit at the same time. That's unfortunately, sometimes that is the way things work out. And there he is, war chest full of toys. Thought you'd be on your way to gambling, buddy. And other asunder and plunders. If New Year's or Christmas Eve's any indication. Anyway, so the Cybertruck was detonated outside the Trump Hotel. The 7 others were injured, we know that. But they identified him through tattoos and DNA from relatives. But the tattoos in particular that were still intact. Now, he was really badly burned and very difficult to identify. But they actually were able to find a tattoo on his arm that relatives knew. And then once they trace back, the rental and everything, that's just not going to be very difficult to find that out. It says... let's see here. I just want to make sure I don't go over anything. Bourbon Street. So it says, Evans said other family issues or personal grievances in his own life may have been contributing factors. Now, of course, again, we've heard, by all accounts, he seemed fine. His wife was fine, right? So... having a service member who is a former friend and military member come out and say that nothing seemed amiss. But this obviously was planned out. It says investigators it says right here, it's evident that the subject considered, planned, and thoughtfully prepared for this act alone, by himself. An active duty U.S. Army Green Beret. Livelsberger was on leave from his base in Germany at the time. The explosion was caused by a combination of fireworks, gas tanks, camping fuel in the bed of the vehicle, detonated by a device controlled by the driver. So, was it on a timer? Was there a delay? I'm assuming there was a delay because if he shot himself before it went off, there had to have been some kind of delay, something like that. Joe Fan, hey, get your boy to bed by all means. Do what's most important, that's for sure. If you get a chance to swing back by, buddy. I appreciate you getting in here. In a 10-day journal of activity or surveillance log kept on one of his phones, From December 21st to the 31st, he chronicled his purchases of firearms, camp equipment, and other items. It says a family member and former Army colleague described him as a highly decorated combat veteran who loved his job as well as Trump. That's also not something you would throw out there unless you knew that, right? Unless you knew this was somebody who supported Trump, was a happy voter, and all that. It says when Trump was in office, he would comment on his Facebook page about the things Trump had said or done and how he's helping the military. A family member who asked not to be named said Matt had a lot of respect for Mr. Trump. He just loved the guy. So right there we have kind of confirmation that this guy was a Trump fan. So he did not do this to try to blow up the hotel. He did it to get attention. Now, there's some really interesting stuff that has happened since this all went down. All right, so I'm gonna play something for y'all. I'll turn the music down a little bit, and I want you guys to listen to this video. So to give you a little bit of context, all right, to give y'all a little bit of context, I'm gonna bring this video over so I can read it. Okay. So this will give you an idea of kind of how weird and wacky this stuff is getting. All right. Sean Ryan, who has a big podcast, right? Big podcast. Sean Ryan says he's going into hiding following the release of his most recent episode where he shares an email allegedly sent by Matthew Leibelsberger before the Trump hotel explosion. Guest Sam Shoemate says he was sent an email on Tuesday from Leibelsberger before the explosion saying the drones over New Jersey were operating by the use of gravitic propulsion system. Only the U.S. and China have this capability, according to the email. On December 31st, Sam received an email allegedly from Matthew, who would be named as the perpetrator in the detonation of the Tesla Cybertruck. Here's what the email said, according to Sam. This is in the words of allegedly Matthew Leibelsberger, okay? In case I do not make it to my decision point or on the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. Only we in China have this capability. Our open location for this activity is in the box below. Now, I don't know what that means. I actually have the email, like a screenshot of it. All right. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years. But this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR. And I don't know what SIGINT, if anybody's a military person, maybe you can explain that to me. Okay, signals intelligence. All right, that's what that is, signals intelligence. And let's see what ISR is so we can get back to this email. ISR. Intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, evidently. Okay. Which are also part of the integrated comm system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to our national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted to. It's checkmate. USG needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBIED. So you know what an IED is. VB, don't know what that is. Let's look it up. VBIED. What is a VBIED? Vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. That's what that is. All right. So he says, I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of, I'm guessing, civilian casualties that killed hundreds of civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with USFORA, an agent redacted of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with GEN Miller's 10 staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murgab, AOB-S commander at the time. Redacted can validate this. So they've taken a couple names out of this, okay? You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. For vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18Z out of 110. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with USAP access, which that's a lot of abbreviations. Nonetheless, and what's going on? It's Jay Gonzo and Wraith Mace is in the house. I'll make sure I hit you up too. So before we get into this and this video that I'm going to play a little bit of it, it's interesting because this dude is laying down a lot of stuff, like a lot of shit. So we don't know exactly, but what we did find out, however, what I saw is, let's see here. I can find my page because it has been verified. The actual email that was sent has been verified by the sheriff's department. Let's see if I can bring it up really quickly here and make sure that I get the proper documentation because I do have it. Come on. I got so much stuff saved, y'all. It's unbelievable. All right. So look. We'll play this.
I get it started off as comments. So when you have a big Instagram account, you're going to miss a lot of messages because people message, go to hidden messages and everything else. You miss a lot of stuff. Well, I kept seeing this comment on recent posts that I put in there, and it was from this burner account that said, hey, check your DMs, check your DMs, check your DMs. So I go in there and try to find it. There's no message from this guy, hadn't come through or whatever. And then he messages again once that message was opened up. And I said, hey, your previous messages haven't come through. What do you want to tell me? And he said, what I'm going to send you, now these are literally his words. What I'm going to send you is going to change the course of humanity. That was his phrase. Change the course of humanity. Okay. A little bit dramatic. I get these messages all the time. People have this big story they want to tell. They want to expose their command, whatever. I take everything with a grain of salt until I have evidence and proof. So this guy is insistent. He tells me that he is a 18 Zulu who I've spoken to before, and he really needs to get this stuff to me. And then he talks about you. He says, I need you to get me in contact with Sean Ryan. I'm like, dude, I don't know Sean Ryan. I'm not that big, but he's insistent that I get him diverted to media sources, says go to Fox News, whatever else. And I said, all right, tell me what you got. So I give him my Proton email account, give him my signal number, and he reaches out immediately. And I'm going to read this initial message for you because this doesn't have names or anything else on it, but this was his message on Sunday. He reached out and said, like I said, this last Sunday, he said, sending with a VPN active on Wi-Fi only. Do not message me. I will send out updates via both Signal and email, but trust me, you're going to want to be involved. Well, first of all, no, I didn't want to be involved. Anyways, and then, so I didn't message. I responded back to his original Instagram message. And I said, hey, I got your message on Proton Mail. And he said, cool, delete this. So I deleted it. That's how I ended up getting this message on Tuesday.
Okay. So, and this is where, like, I want to talk about, like, the fact and fiction stuff, because you have people that have gone over this email, all right, and also gone through, like, the service it was used to send, right? Because the service is kind of 100% anonymous. You have people pouring through kind of the just the actual email itself, like certain squiggles and you know, things like that, like the screenshot of it, because I actually have a screenshot of it, you know, talks about, looks like it was literally being written and not actually sent. So so there's kind of variances in a lot of this stuff in whether or not this is actually real. And like Wraith Mace is talking about, it says that that this dude is a big liar, and I'm a little surprised Sean would let him on without vetting him. But right now, Sean Ryan is going into hiding. He actually tweeted out this here: my family and I are disappearing for a few days. My account will be active, but it will not be me behind the wheel. What we're about to release is mind-boggling. Will raise a lot of questions. All media requests need to go to my producer. I'm expecting a lot for the interest of the public. It comes with a price. I'll take all the prayers I can get. Thank you. And that's what I'm curious about, because, you know, why would he need to go into hiding if this was fake? You know, if this actually was you know, not real, then I'm curious as to why he would feel the need to go into hiding. Now, I can understand someone using a platform, right, to get their name out. Obviously, somebody pulling people's chain. Wraith Bay says some of my buds in the FBI were chatting about it today. Now, Ryan Macbeth, I'm not sure about Ryan Macbeth. You'd have to educate me on that. But yeah, so I am curious about why Sean Ryan would feel the need to, you know, to leave. You know, if this email does come out, and I just read last night where this right here, okay, Las Vegas police and the FBI have said that they do believe the manifesto being circulated by Sean Ryan was written by the bombing suspect. The manifesto mentions what he believes to be the true reason for the drones in New Jersey, such as China being the ones to launch them. He says that they are the most dangerous threat to national security. So, Las Vegas police and the FBI have said that they do believe The manifesto being circulated by Sean Ryan was written by the bombing suspect. I knew I'd seen it somewhere, and I wanted to make sure that I got that. Of course, if you look through the comments, you're gonna find your usual source of all kinds of whatever. Um, and right here, even somebody brick suit. Personally, I'm highly skeptical about the use of gravitic propulsion systems. Um, I mean, look, could be misspelling, right? Could be autocorrect, right? A fucked up autocorrect, right? We don't know. But I do find that interesting that um, you know if they believe that was authentic, then that's kind of where I'm. Now the manifesto, yes, but it literally said that the email that was sent they believe is authentic. And so the manifesto, yeah, they found that on his phone and everything. So, um, right now, as it stands, there's let's see, let me go back to here. Sorry. Um, right now, as it stands, um, as they're piecing stuff together, this is one of the things I was talking about earlier. Okay. Um, right here, and you may have read this article. Soldier who died by suicide in Las Vegas told ex-girlfriend of pain and exhaustion after Afghanistan. It says that he confided to a former girlfriend who was an Army nurse. And served in the Army as a nurse. He faced significant pain and exhaustion that she says were key symptoms to traumatic brain injury. Five-time recipient of the Bronze Star, including one with a V device for valor under fire. He had exemplary military record that spanned the globe and a new baby born last year. But he struggled with mental and physical toll of his service, which required him to kill and cause him to witness the death of his fellow soldiers. Mostly bore that burden in private, but recently sought treatment for depression from the Army, according to a U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity to provide details that have not been made public. He also found a confidant in a former nurse who he began dating in 2016. Um, and where she worked at was some of the worst combat injuries in Iraq and Afghanistan, where people were treated before they were flown home. Said there she saw and treated traumatic brain injuries, people from incoming fire and roadside bombs, serious but hard to diagnose. Such injuries can have lingering effects. She says he sent her a photo of a graphic tattoo he got on his arm of two skulls pierced by bullets to mark the lives he took in Afghanistan. He talked about exhaustion and pain, not being able to sleep, reliving the violence of his deployment. My life has been a personal hell for the last year, he told her during the early days of their dating. According to text messages she provided to the AP, it's refreshing to have such a nice person come along. Uh, she says here that I had a Tesla too that I rescued from a junkyard in 2019, and we used to work on it together, bond over it. The pair stopped talking regularly after they broke up in 2021, and she hadn't heard from him in more than 2 years. And then, out of the blue, on December 28th and again on December 31st, the upbeat messages included a video of him driving the Cybertruck and one of its dancing headlights, because the vehicle can sync up to music and stuff. But he also said here, she also said he felt things very deeply. I could see him using symbolism of both the truck and the hotel. He wasn't impulsive. I don't see him doing this impulsively, so my suspicion he was probably thinking it out. Um, he went through periods of memory loss, periods of withdrawal, depression. Um, so this is someone that was with him for a few years, right? So obviously they went through the phone records and they found her, and she turned over those messages. She, has no reason not to, nothing to hide. But also trying to provide some context into his life, which, we'll soon find out. But this is at least someone who's willing to talk and give us some insight into what this guy was feeling, what he was doing, because this attack, or at least this particular attack, is completely different than what we saw on Bourbon Street, right? So as we gather more information, basically we can guess that this guy was suffering from a lot of issues and felt and it's possible. Again, the sheriff's department said they do believe that the email is authentic. Um, from a source, but until and I don't know that we'll ever really find out all the information. I do find it curious that we have been given as much as we have. And the reason I'm curious about that, and Graf is in his house. They also found over 900 hours of Candy Crush played on his phone. Yeah, probably. I'd guess that was probably his girlfriend's. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Wraith Base says, just wait. You'll see as far as everything that the email being fake. War Chest says, to be honest, who is Sean Ryan? Where did he come from out of nowhere? And now he's one of the largest podcast YouTubers next to Rogan. He actually, I think, overtook Rogan. That's what's crazy about it. And I'd never heard of him either. Right? And for all we know, he's a mouthpiece for the CIA. Trust no one. Jay Gonzo says, check out all the other Sean Ryan podcasts and how many people they are exposing, and then you see why he's disappearing. That's interesting. Sometimes you need to do that, right? It might be worth it to you to do that. Um, let's see. Yeah, the email they haven't commented on officially. Been watching Sean from the start. Watch the people he interviews, and you'll feel differently about a lot of things. I can see that. Even Rogan somewhat does that for people, right? A top tier special forces soldier making some lame bomb out of gas, propane canisters, and fireworks, committing suicide with a gun he just purchased right before his display. That really did do shit. See that's what I mean. Like very decorated, special forces, Green Beret. Understandably feels bad about maybe what happened overseas, but this is extreme. This is extreme, and in his own words, said this is the only way to get people to pay attention. I mean, sadly, here's what is sad about all of it: is that we're going to move on. Tomorrow will come, and the next day, and the next day. And the area in front of the Trump hotel will be cleaned up. And this will become a footnote in our history. Unless he's right and there is a storm coming. And there is something coming. Because, they can explain everything about this, right? Very forthright. They can come out and tell us almost everything we need to know. Who it is, tattoos, manifestos, cell phones, 2 different manifestos, email. We get all this stuff, right? Just right off the bat. Immediate. And we're going to get to the other one on Bourbon Street, too, because it's interesting there, too. But we get immediacy. How many times do we not get immediacy? Like, how many times is something never... What about the Epstein list? Right? what about shit that like we don't for some reason ever get, and then we move on, right? We move on, and and we forget whether we get the information or we don't get the information, right? And I mean, crackhead, I don't know, could be on drugs, could be on something to try to help him get over. I don't the PTSD part. I believe that. I believe that 100%. I believe that's real. You know, but it's like we get the information and people move on. We don't get the information, everybody bitches about it, but then we move on. And so it is a very curious thing. And the reason why I'm curious about it all is because we had a shooting here in Nashville. The Covenant shooting. You might have heard about it. And they will not release the manifesto of the shooter. They have gone to great lengths, had a judge seal it. The parents don't want it released because they don't want a copycat. But yet, in this instance, and in the Bourbon Street instance, we've gotten information. We've gotten information so fast it makes your head spin. We get manifestos told to us the next day. But here in Nashville, because a girl living as a boy went and shot up a Christian private school and wrote a manifesto about it, for some reason, they don't want to release that manifesto that had been planned for years, by the way. It had been pre-planned. The judge sealed it. People are suing. Steven Crowder had released some of it. The press has been suing under the Freedom of Information Act to get this manifesto released, and it is being kept under lock and key. Now, why would that manifesto not be released for fear of a copycat? But then this one be literally come out the very next day, 2 days later. All the information you could ever want. I can tell you probably one big reason why they don't want that other manifesto released. Yeah, exactly, Eric. Yes. And you can't tell me that that has nothing to do with the trans agenda. It has a lot to do with it. It has everything to do with it. And you're right. It's been well over a year. It's been way longer than that. It's been leaked. But that's the reason why I wanted to bring that up, is because I just find that curious that they're just so willing to turn over all this information and just tell us all this stuff, right? And yet here in Nashville, it's being kept like it's the Ark of the Covenant. Like your eyes will burn. You'll melt if you read this manifesto. And it's maybe, but it's just fascinating to me that we have two totally opposite ends of the spectrum for essentially not the same crime, but you get my drift, right? Um, I just I don't understand it, and ultimately what it is they're hoping you forget. They're hoping you forget about this shit, right? Jay Gonzo, I will check that out. I had been told that actually yesterday. But anyway, so as of right now, that's kind of what we know. I had been scouring for days to get any more information, any anything new, anything that I could look at. I mean, there's obviously video. I'm sure you guys have seen it with dude cruising the block, busting a block and everything. Um, mainly the him writing about mental health crisis. You know, I mean, the stuff about China. I mean, that's real. Now I don't know about the gravity, propulsion, and all that stuff. I don't know enough about that really. I tried to kind of look a lot of it up, but again, you're talking about a very highly decorated person. Um, and even right here, you know, the Pentagon told CBS there were no red flags prior to his departure from Germany. None. No red flags. He may have been struggling with, you know, behavioral health. It said that he had actually visited the health services multiple times. Um, And also, it says in the email obtained by CBS. Now, see, here's what's whack, dude. Okay, you talk about this email, Wraith Mace, talk about it not being real, but then right here, the email obtained by CBS News, Livensberger references ongoing concerns about civilian casualties caused by an airstrike in Afghanistan. The incident he mentioned appears to align with the reports of airstrikes May 2019 targeting alleged drug processing facilities in Afghanistan, where more than 30 civilians, including children, were reportedly killed. Now nobody can independently verify the letter's authenticity, and I get it. People could cherry pick, right? They could cherry pick incidents and events and stuff like that. It is quite interesting. I just it's curious. So anyway, yes, China steals intellectual property, 100%. They've been doing it for years, and get you on that TikTok. Get you on that TikTok. So we've kind of gone into that. Let's take a stroll on the Bourbon Street attack. Okay, I say take a stroll. It's probably a horrible way to say that, and kind of run down a timeline, a little bit of this, if we can. All right. So, again, according to CNN, this was 100% inspired by ISIS. Here's a timeline. The attacker killed 14 people, wounded dozens more. Victims included a student, former college football player, and parents of young children. The attacker had planted 2 explosives in ice coolers in the French Quarter, both of which were rendered safe by bomb squads. Investigators searching the attacker's Houston home found chemicals typically used to construct explosives, a law enforcement agent said. The White House has seen no evidence of foreign direction or involvement in the attack. I don't care about Joe visiting New Orleans. Okay, so some of the other stuff in this case, all right, it says he published audio messages discussing religious views and claiming music was Satan's voice. That sounds more cuckoo to me than the other feller. All right. But anyway, I digress. But of course, people freaked out about Black Sabbath back in the day. So go figure. All right. About a year before he drove a truck up Bourbon Street, Shamsuddin Jabbar's name uploaded 3 audio files discussing religious views to online audio platform SoundCloud. The voice heard in the clips matches other videos of Jabbar that CNN has authenticated. The account has a shortened form of his name and says the user is located in Houston, where he resided. These are currently the most direct glimpses into his religious views and own personal interpretation of Islam. In one of the files, he likens music and playing instruments to Satan's voice, which was the title he gave the file. Satan's voice is also the misleading of people from Allah's way. Jabbar also said he believed that musical instruments have an effect on the heart. Yeah, they do. It's fucking called music, you fucking fruitcake. That effect, he said, gradually drives a person to things he believed God has made forbidden to us. Um, Man, it's interesting. Um, Let me back out of this article. So right away we know that dude thinks that music is, the devil's work, right? That he's doing he thinks that music is the devil's work, right? Um, okay. Now here's a video of the truck flying down the street. This is pretty crazy. Look at this shit. God damn. I mean, look at how fast. Look at how fat. Woo! Holy crap. Yeah, I'm with you, Graph, but I fact checked it. So we get this shot, and then we get this shot right here, and you see everybody crowding it. Good Lord. I mean, and this is probably here soon thereafter. There's gunshots. You hear gunshots, and that's police immediately responding. Now, what I find really interesting in all of this is that the chief of police was asked about the yellow blockades that they have that they can put up, and she said she actually didn't know that they had them. So she's the chief of police, did not know that they had these yellow these metal barricade things that actually block people from being able to access Bourbon Street, especially during events such as this, especially when you're talking about something as crowded as this, right? She did not know that they had these yellow blockades. Now, I don't know how long she's been on the job. It's pretty sad that a chief of police wouldn't even know that. Now we have right here, we've got video of the suspect pre-attack right here.
The New Year's Day terror attack on Bourbon Street, while the FBI is changing course, now saying the suspect acted alone.
So let's see if we can scrub through this. So this is him, I guess, loading up the truck. I mean, the thing of it is people don't think about the fact that, in one sense, I'm with a lot of people. I don't want cameras everywhere because I do feel that it is an invasion of privacy, and I'm just not a fan of having cameras everywhere to track everybody's movement. In situations like this, it does come in handy so that you can understand and identify people in cases like this. But I am not a big fan of having cameras just everywhere. Facial recognition, all that stuff. Hanging out on the street corner smoking a cigarette, and they can sit there and look at you. But in cases like this, it does come in handy. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Yeah, Joe Fan, that girl was close. Turk Murphy, yeah. You talking about the girl in white? Yeah, she got super, super lucky. And Daredevil Dave, yeah, I agree. Everybody knows about those barricades. But when she was asked, and I watched it today on the news, when she was asked about the barricades. No, it was last night actually. Um, she had no idea, and she admitted she had no idea, which is even more fascinating. Um, and yeah, insane driving for sure, right? Like, I mean, but I mean, you see the video of him at the red light, and then smokes the tires and turns right. I mean, turns right rather, smokes the tires and off. And I mean, it's awful. It is. It's awful. And it is domestic terrorism. The and that's where, like, in instance like this in particular, I could say yes. Like, that's what it feels like. The other incident, I feel as if that guy wanted to do actual damage, that he would have done something different, right? And yeah, Joe Fan, a DEI hire for the chief of police. Well, maybe not. Well, yeah, yeah, in a roundabout way. But anyway, so I feel like in the Cybertruck attack is that if he really wanted to do damage, like parking out front and then determining when it is that you're actually going to do it, that there's no one around, I find that fascinating. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, right? Like, that I compare it to this, an act like this. We've seen people drive into crowds, we've seen people go into parades. But and if the last few years we've seen it where they blamed it on white supremacists, right? It's a black parade or something like this. So, they blame it on white supremacists, or the other way around. I think it was it Wisconsin actually, where a guy he even tried to represent himself in court. Um, so we've seen this happen. And at first, this is what this seemed like, until you realize that he has an ISIS flag, you know, uh, and everything. And then I'm going to show you a video here in a minute of a reporter who got access to the house. Now, that's one of the coolers that he evidently had planted a bomb in. There's the video. Okay, so that's the video of him turning the corner right there. And so he's sitting at the red light, and then look at this, just smokes the tires and takes off. Uh, Man, I mean, ran into. It's a real shame because ultimately, at the end of the day, there's people hanging out down there. They're partying. They're having a good time. And but if you think about it, this guy thinking music is the devil's words, you know, then Bourbon Street is probably his perfect place to go, to attack a bunch of people hanging out listening to music, right? Um, Now, really quickly, I just want to get my bearings in order before we look at this. All right. So then this story comes out, and it says New Orleans attack, suspects travel to Egypt under investigation. Traveled to Egypt for about a month, his half brother said. He went to Egypt alone, and he was going because it was cheap and beautiful. That's what his brother says. So now they're looking into this trip to Egypt to see if he made any contacts, what he did, any sources. He said that critical to the probe is whether he had been radicalized prior to the travel or if the travel marked the start of his radicalization. That is possible, right? I mean, it just depends. I mean, I would say it probably started well before participating in the military, right? You see that, and yes, Wisconsin, that was horrible. And that guy tried to he made a mockery out of the court system by trying to represent himself. It was an absolute sham. Um, And yeah, that was bad. As a matter of fact, not only did he kill kids, but there's a group of women, elderly women, called the Dancing Grannies, and they do all kinds of parades. And he killed several of those elderly women who dance and do parades, and they just stay active and stuff. And ooh, you can see that video at the bottom of the screen right there. Just if you want to see that, look at this right here. I mean, that's wow. I mean that's crazy. But he made a trip to Egypt in 2023. And so it's curious because people are trying to figure out if that maybe had anything to do or the start of his radicalization. Now, they went to the home here, just so you can see here. It says, bring this up real quick just to give a little more information. And then I'm going to show a video of something that I found fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. All right. It says here, Brooke Taylor, breaking. Deputy just closed down the street in North Harris County where Shamsuddin Jabbar was living. A source tells me HCSO bomb squad is on the way to collect evidence. This comes days later when the door was left open and people are inside the home taking pictures and freely roaming around. Sources also say precursor chemicals were found inside the home when they first raided it, which are typically used for making homemade explosives. The question now becomes why come back and collect evidence and not do this days ago? Okay? Now, let's show you a video because we know this guy evidently was an ISIS follower. So this was an easy one to figure out. Okay, the Cybertruck one, that's something different. All right. But this one, is a little different. And quickly, just to give you an idea of what the FBI said here. Okay, they kind of lay down the evidence. It said right here, evidence recovered along Bourbon Street and at a short-term rental in New Orleans used by the subject had been completed. They found bomb-making materials, which were rendered safe, and other items were found and collected for further processing. They located similar materials at the search of his home in Crescent Peak Drive in Houston. It says that determined Jabbar was the only person who could have had access to the resident when the fire was set. Okay, so it says on January 1st, they responded to a fire at the Mandeville Street location after the attack on Bourbon Street. He was the only person who could have had access to the residence when the fire was set. The ATF also determined that Jabbar set a small fire in the hallway and strategically placed accelerants throughout the house in his effort to destroy it and other evidence of his crime. After Jabbar left the residence, the fire burned to a point that it extinguished itself prior to spreading to other rooms. The ATF investigation revealed that when the New Orleans Fire Department arrived at the scene, the fire was smoldering, allowing for the recovery of evidence, including precursors for bomb-making material and a privately made device suspected of being a silencer for a rifle. Evidence collected from multiple sites are being evaluated to further the investigation. The FBI assesses that during his attack on Bourbon Street, he intended to use a transmitter, which was found in the F-150 truck, to detonate 2 IEDs he placed on Bourbon Street. The transmitter, along with 2 firearms connected to Jabbar, is being transported to the FBI laboratory for additional testing. Shell casings, clothing, yada yada. Evaluating terabytes worth of video and other data collected by street cameras, so on and so forth. Okay, so we understand that, right? Now, there was a reporter. This is fascinating, y'all. I mean, this is absolutely fascinating to me. This is a girl by the name of Jenny Taylor. She works for the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I just want to make it clear because I was trying to make sure I had her. Yes, okay. New York, but Texas reporter covering the border and immigration. All right, so I'm going to show you this video of her going into the home after the attack. And we're going to watch this video together. She is a Texas reporter covering the border and immigration for the New York Post. Jenny Hare, okay? All right, guys, check this shit out.
Here inside the New Orleans terrorist home, you can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to.
From the FBI raid yesterday. She is in the home the day after the FBI raid. There's no police tape. There's no evidence markers. Look at this shit. Watch.
We have this work area here. Lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see
I would
the
too.
Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant.
Left on the countertop. Left on the countertop. Now, again, mind you, she's walking through a crime scene. Walking through a crime scene. What a buddy. Walking through a crime scene, yo. Okay? The day after.
And the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and his, what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here. You can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, his bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on, some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure what that was for. In, you know, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said he left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease, it was up, and he was on his way to New Orleans where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far.
So, this is the home in Texas. And the sheriff's department, the FBI came in and they raid the home. And then they just leave it wide open. Leave it wide open for anybody to go through. I find that fascinating. And so this reporter for the New York Post just has her way through the house. Just has her way through the house. I can't even imagine what that's like. Like, just to be able to have free run and just go through the house like that. And it not be cordoned off, or evidence markers everywhere, or police still there. It's just amazing to me. And just kind of another mystery in a way in this whole case. Like, I don't know, man. That is odd to me that they just allow that to happen. But the greater problem is that you would have thought after November, yes, the ISIS attack, if this fellow is obviously associated, you can see that happening. But the other fella who basically is trying to put out a warning, hey, we're, you know, something big is going down and we need to be prepared for it. That's the more interesting one. The Bourbon Street one, I'm not saying I expect it, but at this point in time, it doesn't make me go, oh gosh, like I don't know what to think. Like I get that one. It's the Cybertruck, the Las Vegas one that I don't get. And I'm more curious about. Yeah, it's disturbing how easy it was to go in that house. Yeah, no, they went right up in there. And that was literally like, January 1st. And so by now may very well have been, cordoned off and police tape and everything at this point. But at that point, it definitely should have been. You're at a crime scene. Um, it's I don't even know what to say about that. It's not something you normally see, and especially with the press, right? The press kind of get drip fed their information. They don't have free reign to just walk in with a cell phone cam and walk around. But maybe it's just a new day, right? Yeah, War Chest says if he was a badass, he would have just set up one of those scooter coolers and drove it in with the boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah. He wasn't so badass, but he sure as hell was. He was on a mission. That's for sure. I mean, without a doubt. Um, it is a real shame, and considering that obviously there was a lot of people down there. There's always a lot of people down there on Bourbon Street, right? But the football game and New Year's and all that. 3 a.m. I mean, it's. But again, these are the people that hate what we do. They hate the America. They hate what we stand for. They hate music. They hate dancing. They hate women. They hate everybody that's not them, and they hate everybody that doesn't believe what they believe. And that's just the truth of the matter. And if you can't believe that, you don't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any sympathy for any of those people at all and what happens to them. I didn't have any in Afghanistan. I didn't have any during Iraqi freedom. I just don't. Because I've seen what you've seen what actually happens, and so the reality is that this is probably not the last time. 9/11 was the major one, right, for us, attack on our own soil, but these drones might be leading up to something else. We don't know, and according to that email, it very well could be the case. I was very curious. So anyway, nonetheless, it was a shame. New Orleans was a shame, and it's a shame that a decorated soldier who obviously had some mental issues, at least that's what we've been told, uh, you know, committed these acts, and we'll find out more information, obviously, as it goes along. I'm just, man, you want to talk about expedited information? We got expedited information with a quickness, and I was shocked by that. Uh, Something else I'm a little curious about as we kind of move past that, uh, and into the Politico. I did want to share this story that I saw about Elon Musk, and this is off of his Twitter. This is a quote from him. Algorithm tweak coming soon to promote more information, entertaining content. We will publish the changes to the XENG. Our goal is to maximize unregretted user seconds. Too much negativity is being pushed that technically grows user time, but not unregretted user time. Now, he also says underneath, we're also working on easy ways for you to adjust the content feed dynamically so you can have what you want at any given moment. So I find this one interesting because um, free speech is free speech. And when Elon bought Twitter, it was being very heavily censored, especially during the election time. And he bought it to change that. And I'm not saying it's the best place on earth, but I am saying that it has been better since he took over. But now, this change right here with the algorithm tweak to promote more positive things, too much negativity is being pushed that technically grows user time. Now, I did want to look up what is unregretted user seconds. Let's find out together. Unregretted user seconds. The concept of unregretted user seconds focuses on ensuring users feel their time spent on the platform is meaningful and enjoyable rather than driven by negativity or sensationalism. Now, that, my friends, is fascinating because free speech is free speech. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to go down the rabbit hole. And if you feel like your time spent on an app or in a video game or listening to a song or whatever is not worth your time, then you find something else to do. I never like it when an entity or something regulates for me what they deem worthy of me to read or listen to or do. Those are choices I'd like to make on my own. I don't need, as much as I like Elon, I do not like someone determining for me that I'm getting too much negative content from their platform. And I need more positive content. I don't need that. I'll do that for my own self. Right? And I'm with you, Clint. Looking at Angel Reese picks is definitely unregretted user time. And if you go down your feed during WNBA season, and you go down your YouTube feed or whatever, you're going to get plenty of them. It sounds like the algorithm on my channel for 3-star draw. Yeah, it's just interesting because realistically, like this is pushing positive content and trying to get out the negative content. Well, you understand? Who determines what's negative? Who determines what's negative? Who determines what's bad? Who draws the line? So what's negative for some might be positive for others. So to me, this is a very weird thing to do after basically rescuing Twitter, at least trying to make it viable, a way some people can make money, albeit you got to be a dirty dog to make money on Twitter. But I've seen people do it and a lot of money, but you really got to be a dirty fucking dog. But to change the algorithm to just promote positive stuff because there's too much negative, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. And I'm hoping he will go back and maybe rescind that because I do not like, look, it's his company. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And it's my choice to use it or not. Right. But I'm with you, Joe fan. If I don't like something, I'll just block it or I'll just not go to it. I'll change the fucking channel. Jesus, man. Like, I did want to highlight this real quick. On a good note, Joe fan got the Motu Ram Man today, and I am definitely happy for you. I'm definitely happy for you, for sure. And yeah, Jay Gonzo, we did look at that earlier about the Cybertruck containing the explosion, and that's fascinating about that, isn't it? Just the design. You know, the design of it, man, it really is fascinating. Um, Menjoza in the house. What's up, man? Menjoza. We about to look at a little Kamala Harris reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, listen, I know for some people it's been a long time. It's been a while for me. It's been a while for me as well, but I could get through the Pledge of Allegiance and I could get through at least the first sentence. Okay, maybe you've forgotten a little bit of it. I don't know, but I have someone, a politician in the almost highest office, and she was leading Congress the other day in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I wanted to share with y'all Kamala leading Congress in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
Oh wait, hang on. Wait, I missed that. Let me go back. Did I wait, hang on.
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
Wait, one more time. Just one more.
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of, at least she pledged allegiance to the United States of America. Now, it may be a fucking lie, but at least she pledged allegiance to the United States of America. Listen, 3-star. Maybe she was nervous. She's only spoken in front of, oh, I don't know, tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, campaigned across America to try to be elected, has been in office as vice president for God knows how long, was an attorney for who knows how long, and maybe she was nervous. I call it not knowing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me in pledging
One more time.
allegiance to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Oh shit. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I can believe it. That's the thing. Like, I can believe it. Listen, trust me. I thought about the nervous part. Trust me, I did. Trust me, I did. But man, oh man, I just that's good shit. I'm sorry, but and that's what I said. You know, right, Joe Fan? At least it was you know, China or United States and not China. Actually, that's the great part. Let's see here. Clint, real quick. I just got an article in my feed about a 32-year-old that found a Lego stuck in her nose for 26 years. Holy shit. Let's see. Joe Faye says I had to lead the class in pledge once in elementary school, and I burped pledge real loud. You know, in elementary school too, I could see that, right? Like that's, you know, that's tough, right? That's tough. I mean, I'm with you there, like totally. It's I mean, it's again, I took into account the nervous part, but when she's been a public speaker for a really long time, I would have assumed that those, especially that, would just be in your wheelhouse, right? You just have it so down pat, you couldn't even, there's nothing else you could, you know, you can't forget it. if you've done it so many, so many times. So I don't know if y'all saw this. Let's see here. As I bring something up real quick here. Sorry. I don't know if y'all saw this. But, well, crap. Come on, baby. There you go. All right. And give me one sec. War chest. Okay. So, here we go. Boom. China is facing a new virus outbreak, currently experiencing a significant increase in cases of human metapneumovirus, leading to crowded hospitals, especially with children and the elderly being most effective. Where we heard that one. Despite reports of overwhelmed healthcare facilities, there has been no official declaration of a state of emergency. Experts are monitoring the situation, but suggest that while HMPV can lead to severe respiratory issues, the overall impact might not necessitate global alarm. Okay. China facing a new virus outbreak, spreading rapidly, causing flu-like and COVID-19-like symptoms. Here we go. Here we go. I do love this. Shocking news. 5 years after COVID pandemic, a new mysterious virus emerges in China. Yeah, Joe Finn. Yeah, keep it over there. Yeah, I saw that. And I thought, come on. And of course, on January 2nd, China has issued a state of emergency. So all hospitals are overflowing with patients, young and old, over 300 deaths so far in 2 days. Here we go again. Doctors are saying this is worse than it was during COVID. What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is natural? Or do you think that this is do you think this is natural, or do you think that this is again um same old, right? Like I don't even want to get it, Wouldn't it be fascinating if some shit came from the same place we got this shit 4 years ago? Right? Wouldn't it just be something else? Right here, I request the Union government to immediately start screening of all flights of China, be prepared to stop flights from China as their nation seems to have had an outbreak. Yeah. Mystery disease outbreak in China overwhelms hospitals. Here's video right here. Um, you know, and of course they'll be locking people back into their apartments. They'll be, you know what I mean? Like it's just, come on, man. Um, why can't we have a helpful virus that makes you grow thick hair and lose weight? Yeah, right. Uh, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, the thing of it is, you can't trust shit from over there. Like, you just can't. Um, I did see one other interesting story before we get into a little bit of some movie stuff. BlackRock invests 252 million in Bitcoin, a sign of institutional endorsement. Now, many of you know BlackRock is one of the DEI companies that is all about forcing behaviors of their employees. Their CEO very openly talks about forced behaviors and forcing the behaviors of their employees, whether you have to penalize them monetarily or you have to do it through their positions, but you have to change behaviors by forcing behaviors. And that means forced diversity, forced, gender equity or ideology. BlackRock, a major financial institution, has reportedly invested $252 million in Bitcoin, indicating a significant move by institutional investors into cryptocurrencies. This investment has been highlighted across social media, often with expressions of excitement and optimism about Bitcoin's market future. I would doubt that's actually, I would say this is not optimism. Despite these reports, the exact details regarding BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, I bet, remain unconfirmed and thus should be approached with caution. Will this, inject the Bitcoin industry? I don't know. I don't invest in Bitcoin personally. But I'm not. I think this is kind of not a Hail Mary by BlackRock, but I think BlackRock has lost a lot of money in the last couple of years. I think support for them and their ESG and DEI programs is waning, and I think people are growing very tired of it. And I feel like ultimately it, to me, almost seems like a Hail Mary, almost like a, hey, we need to invest and get try to make as much money as we can, and investing in Bitcoin, and maybe they are able to capitalize on that. But man, I just don't. I don't think it's a good thing to get more of this. Not a fan of BlackRock. I did want to show you guys this video of Soundgarden's new singer, if y'all are interested. This is Soundgarden's new singer, and she is going to do a stage dive. Now, you guys remember the band or Soundgarden, right? And yeah, Joe fan, I'm a big fan. I want cold hard cash. I like it. If you guys remember Soundgarden, this is Soundgarden 2025, and here is their singer, their new singer, stage diving. Oh, that didn't go as planned, did it? Oh crap. Let's see what happened. One more time. And I guess nobody wanted to catch the 300. Black holes. I got a black hole, son. All right, check this out one more time, y'all. Here she goes. New singer, ladies and gentlemen, of Soundgarden, making her grand entrance. Come on, y'all. And not so much. And you hear the crowd. Everybody's like, oh. Daredevil Dave, this is Soundgarden's new singer right here. Look at, yeah, y'all bow down to me. Basically saying Chris Cornell ain't got shit on me, and I'm about to turn around. And I bet she farted right here. I bet she farted right there. And one more time. Stage crowd surfing. And she just drowned. And the band's like, what do we do? Oh, just stretch it out, man. Just, yeah. I knew I was too heavy for them motherfuckers. Listen to that shit. Oh my God, I gotta turn that shit up.
too heavy for you motherfuckers. I was too heavy for you motherfuckers.
He dove into a black hole. Yes, they signed Lizzo a while back, and oh man, yeah, Soundgarden. Go figure. They decided they were gonna. Yeah, it's the crowd's fault because they're too weak, right? Yeah, she even said she knew she was too heavy. She says it twice. I knew I was too heavy for them motherfuckers. It's like, then why did you do it? Hello? Oh my God, that was beautiful. Ooh, I saw that shit, man. I couldn't stop laughing last night. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was fantastic. Just brutal. Uh yeah, well, next time. I mean, look, if I was that big, stage diving would not be on my list, right? You know what I'm saying? Like stage diving is probably the wrong thing to do. I hate to see anybody hurt, but hey, yeah, but stupid. Stupid gets hurt. I did want to go over this really quickly, y'all. There's actually a couple of things that I wanted to show. And I thought this was interesting, and this actually is some interesting facts, okay? Um so really quickly, I am going to share this screen right here just to show the headline. Um, Americans spent 23% less on streaming services in 2024. All right. So 23% less, pretty interesting. And then if we go, there it is. All right. State of consumer media. And this actually is interesting. So the cost of internet, TV, and mobile. So what's the cost of staying connected, right? We all like to watch YouTube. We all like to stream. Maybe some of us have cable TV also, but we all pay to do that, right? And yeah, 661 250, right? You know not to do that. Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes sense. But I mean, yeah. it's all say she should have stepped into the water gingerly. I'd have definitely made sure. Yeah, bodies hit the floor. That'd have been great. But I do find this interesting though. So looking at these charts, how much will it cost to stay connected in a lifetime? And let's say you break down your monthly internet, your monthly mobile, monthly streaming, and cable TV package. Okay, total cost per month. And you can see the numbers right there. Now, some of you may pay a little more, some of you may pay a little less, but look at these numbers. So, lifetime of 60 years staying connected to the internet will cost you almost $50,000 in your life. Your mobile phone plan, depending on who you sign up with, will cost you almost $44,000 over the course of your life. Streaming packages, $30,000 over 60 years. And cable TV, which if it's still around, $64,000 over the course of your life. $196,488 over the course of your lifetime just to stay connected to what it takes to be able to stay in the loop or to have entertainment. And I find that fascinating, honestly. It says right here, just your average costs, right? Per month in 2024, home internet, $70. Your mobile phone, average, $60. Streaming services, $42 when you add them all up. And then cable TV, $88 a month. I think these figures are under $272 a month for all four of those. I think that's under. I think most people pay well over $300. And if you have those Sprint or you know what I mean, you have those Verizon plans or AT&T or whatever, where you're paying for your phone through them, and for whatever service plan you have, you could be paying well over $150 a month. Whatever add-ons that you have. Joe fan, I have internet and phone. Canceled Disney, a couple others. I'm on my dad's plan on my phone since he's a veteran. It's only $30 a month. Listen, I have AT&T prepaid. I pay $40 a month, and I get $10 off because I do auto pay. I have unlimited minutes. I have unlimited data. Actually, no, I don't even have unlimited data. I have a 30 gigabyte data plan, but I'm always connected to the internet somewhere over Wi-Fi. So even that's overkill, right? Average cost of home internet, cost by connection type: cable, fiber, DSL, 5G wireless, and satellite. Satellite's expensive as shit. And if you look, cable internet being the most popular, and then average cost of let's see, connection type 47. So my thing is, like, you look at your different carriers and all your plans and stuff, but really my main thing about this, as far as kind of checking into it, was this number up here. Like, in your lifetime, over 60 years, almost $200,000. You're going to spend over $3,000 a month if you have all four of those things. Easily, if you have all four of those things. And I think that's crazy. The cost, and that's why I say, like, I go with a $40 phone plan. I don't give a shit. Now, I don't get I have to bring my own phone and then put my SIM card in it. But my point being is that it's $40 a month. And I'll use a phone that's a couple, 3 years old or whatever. Right now, what I'm using is like a 2018. But my point is like, I don't have to have the new phone. I don't have to have the brand new this. Now, I do that in other ways, in other things maybe. But, like, I don't have to have a phone. I just, as long as the phone works and it's good, But and see, I've got fiber here as well. Straight Talk is great, but if you can jump on that, right? Like, jump on your dad's plan or what, do it. Fuck it. Ain't no shame in that. I say, hell yeah. 3-star, I'm lucky on my services. Got Paramount Plus included with your phone plan. Okay, there you go. Prime Video's included with Prime, which you got to have as your toy collector, especially. Disney Hulu Max bundle for $18. No Netflix. Netflix is the one that, out of all of those, probably, now, of course, Paramount comes with your phone. That's great. In Prime, you're going to have that. The Disney Plus Hulu Max bundle, I'd rather have Netflix than all three of those personally, but having Max is great. And the Paramount Plus subscription, I pay for that yearly, just one big annual, and it comes with Showtime too. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Gojo takes most of my money. I get that. But Straight Talk, yeah, exactly. You get Paramount Plus with it. That's great. I mean, why not? Fuck it. I mean, and to me, I think most people should look into that. Most people should look into the to trying to minimize those costs, because unfortunately it's a fact of life now, and you have to have it. Like, you've got to have it to stay connected. You've got to have it to keep up with the news. You've got to have it if you're a toy collector in particular, which I know a lot of people in here are, then you've got to have it. Because you've got to order your shit. You've got to stay updated. You've got to get text messages. I mean, the cell phone, yeah, of course. But the streaming and other stuff, the way it's been broken up now, it's like, in order for you to watch shit, you have to spend the money. But I just found those numbers to be amazing. Like, amazingly high. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show you before we get into watching these videos, before we shut it down tonight. Um, I found this tweet that I think is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and this gives you an idea of where we're at as a society. The average American spent 2.5 months on their phone in 2024, a 42% increase from last year. 80.6% check their phones within 10 minutes of waking up. 65% use their phone on the toilet. 53.7 have texted someone in the same room. 38% use or look at their phone while on a date. 27% use or look at their phone while driving. And this is PC Magazine. Just kind of doing this article. I would say y'all should check it out. Boomers and silent generation aren't as anxious to see who is trying to reach them, with 69%, 53% checking their notifications within a few minutes. Usually they don't get to them. But it says, there are many times when people check 76% check their phones within 5 minutes of receiving one. Millennials are the fastest on the draw, with 89.5 checking them within 10 minutes. Gen Z, Gen X have found common ground, with 84% each group looking at notifications shortly after receiving one. But this article is actually pretty interesting, because it even says like, let's see. Oh, there he is. I don't know if you get it or not. I sent it to you a little while ago. Oh, you bastard. Come on. Continue on. Oh. Can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you in your library? What are you doing?
I'm in the background.
Oh, sweet. Looking at your phone.
Yeah.
So as you know, you guys might know War Chest. Maybe you don't. I think you do. But I was looking over this article real quick, man, about how much time people spend on their phone. And it was saying right here that Gen Z spends the most time on their phone at 6 hours and 18 minutes per day. Millennials, 6 hours and 2 minutes. Gen X, 4 hours and 54 minutes. Boomers, 3 hours and 18 minutes. And the silent generation, who average 1 hour and 16 minutes per day. Of
That's
course,
wild.
being that old. Yeah, it's get some of these stats. Check this out. In addition to being the fastest to check notifications, millennials also pick up their phones most times per day, 324 times a day. 80% report anxiety after losing their phones. And they're also the most likely to upgrade. And they self-report being addicted to their phones just slightly less than Gen Z does, with 55 admitting that they're addicted, and Gen Z 56%. And a lot of times, and people that get hammered or get drunk and they go to stumble out, or they're leaving, and the first thing on your mind is, where's my phone? Where's my phone? I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've seen that happen, but I've also done it myself, where I've had a buzz and gone to leave, or had somebody drive me home, and it's like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? It's the first thing on your freaking mind. That's how connected like that we are now. You can't imagine not having it. It's just, I don't know. It's wild to me, man. But yeah, this article is actually pretty cool. It's on PC Mag, and I'll put the link in the chat. But I thought it was kind of fascinating that reading some of these statistics, and it is, man. Like I'm on my phone all the time. I'm on YouTube 24 hours a day. I mean, it plays morning, noon, and night, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it is morning, noon, and night. Now, I had sent the link to you on Instagram a little while ago, and had kind of banged through most of my stories. But did you see the Soundgarden singer crowd surfing? Did you see that video?
Is there a new Soundgarden singer?
Oh yeah, let's show War Chest since War Chest didn't get to see it. Let's show War Chest the new Soundgarden singer, and then what she says afterwards is just a blast.
Oh no, you're right. There is a female. I saw that.
Yeah.
Like the
So
Linkin Park 2's got a female.
they do, they do. They've joined the train. Everybody's jumping on that train. So this is
I'm already out.
Yep. Oh, just wait. Oh, just wait. It gets better. Oh. Now listen to what she says.
I knew I was too heavy for you motherfuckers. You okay? I knew I was too heavy for you motherfuckers.
Dude, what does she mean too heavy for those motherfuckers? Everybody.
It's too heavy for
For
everybody.
real.
So I had to, dude, I saw this last night and I just absolutely lost my shit. Yeah, when did she think this was a good idea?
Dude, that'd be as dumb as me trying that. Just stupid.
But the end of it, I just love it.
I knew it.
I knew I was too heavy.
You know what's really
I
fucking
knew I was
funny?
too heavy
Too?
for you motherfuckers. You okay?
Look at the crowd. Number
Oh,
one,
yeah.
the crowd base that's going to see Soundgarden, we're all in our 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
What did she expect?
Who's crowd surfing? And let's face it, Soundgarden in 1992, sure.
Oh yeah.
But Soundgarden in 2025, probably not a big, huge crowd there. Probably a good crowd, right? A good crowd. But it's probably not so packed that you could fall off the stage backwards and
No.
be convinced that you're going to be carried.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God. I did though. I saw that last night, man, when I got home, and I just
That's
freaking
funny as
died
shit.
for a while. Yeah, frostbite. We don't have back strong enough to hold up that blob.
Hell no. Hell no.
And she may have said, "Catch me," when she walked up and held her arms out, was like, with arms wide open. I don't know. But holy shit, dude. Like that's just scary in and to itself. Uh, anyway, golly, man. Yeah, so real quick, let me see. Joe fan, my son is on YouTube a lot. Yeah, my son watches YouTube around the clock too.
Yeah.
And he's also into that new fascination that the last few years where kids watch other people play games instead of playing the games.
Yeah, I couldn't get into that.
That shit is weird, dude. It is
I
weird.
used to have a roommate like that. He just like watch you play. You try and hand him the controllers. No, man, I'm cool. I just want to watch you.
I actually had friends like that back in the day too. I would play the original Tomb Raider, and they just liked watching me and my buddy Eric just play the game because they were like, "Oh, hell yeah." Like they just something about it. They just enjoy it, but you try to get them to try it and they didn't want to do it.
No interest.
But yeah, that's a new phenomenon the last probably decade or so that's come about, especially with the advent of YouTube and Twitch and live streaming, is that kids would rather, it's almost like driving. They'd rather just take a fucking Uber than drive a car.
That's wild.
It is wild. I'm telling you.
But I mean, I guess it depends on how many Ubers you take a month. It could be a lot cheaper than having a car.
It could be. I mean, depending on where you live and how far you need to go, and do you really, and also too, I think now more than ever, we have everything at our fingertips. I mean, hell, they've even made movies. Like, you don't even have to go to the movies anymore. Sometimes they put them on streaming literally a week later, if not sooner than that.
it's kind of an odd thing too. Like if you're somebody that comes from a small city that doesn't have like a big public transportation system, it's like some people look at like, oh man, that dude's broke. He doesn't have a car. He rides the bus every day. I'm like, no, that dude's smart. He doesn't have to worry about parking his car, paying to park it,
Yeah,
insurance. Like he can just get on the bus and get where he needs to go quick, or get on the subway. It's just weird how people
absolutely.
from different areas don't realize, how efficient public transportation can be.
Yeah, and where I live, it's not efficient and it's not very good. And yeah, I could see Three Star Draw when he was hooked on Call of Duty, watching people play, watching those kill streaks and stuff. And yeah, Clint, like 60% of 18-year-olds have a driver's license. I talk to a lot of parents now. I mean, all the time, every day at work when I'm there, and many of them have either a kid or they have like a relative who has a kid that's old enough to drive, and they just are not interested. I see it with my own son. I mean, it's just not interested. It never gets brought up. Now, that could be a fact of like he just doesn't mind getting picked up and shit all the time. But you know as well as I do, having that freedom to just go wherever the
Oh
hell
yeah,
you want to go, even if I had a ride all the time, I still would want to be able, if I want to go somewhere at that moment, I want to
yeah,
be able to go somewhere.
yeah.
And so the ability to do that to me was way far outweighed the cost part of it, or trying to, get some gas or work up some gas money. So it's interesting. And I also think, depending, like, our city has become so crowded now that he's grown up seeing these people drive like bats out of hell and in Nashville. And I could see where he's not as thrilled about driving. I could see where it's a little scary, even
Yeah.
until you do it. Once you do it, you realize. But I'm telling you, dude, people around here, they drive like shit. It is awful, man. It
Oh yeah.
is
No,
awful.
I've driven to Nashville. Nashville sucks.
It
It
does.
sucks
It
bad.
really does.
I would almost rather take an Uber than drive in Nashville.
I mean, seriously. And see, look, my sister right here loves mules. Says, would you really hop on a bus in Nashville? No, no. See, I've often said you have to get people. You have to incentivize public transportation.
Oh yeah.
So you either have to pay people to take it, which means you need to give tax breaks of some kind, or you need to provide them something in some other way to take the bus, to get keys out of people's hands. Otherwise, no, ain't nobody. I ain't taking the damn bus. Like, I'm sorry. What's required in even getting to the bus station from where I live is a pain in the ass. Okay. So getting to where you can get picked up is just a bitch. So for me, and for some people, yeah, it may just work out fine. And I know some people who have taken the bus. My best friend decided he was just going to start riding it downtown to Broadway to his bartending job, and he had to leave an hour early to go down to the bus stop, walk down there, and then take the bus. He could get downtown in like 15 minutes, and it'd take an hour to get there, right? To get to work. So you'd have to go well out of your way and take 2 hours out of your day to plan on going. I mean, I just, there's no incentive though here in Nashville to take it. Honestly, it's just not worth it. It sucks, but it's
Yeah.
the truth.
I can see that too. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, I the spirit of it and everything, and I fully understand, and and it's, yeah, Three Star Draw says, but if it were my only option, it'd be nice if it were available everywhere. Yeah, if it was your only option, and for some people, it is their only option. I mean, they just don't have a choice. But for most people, man, if you got keys, you want to keep them keys.
Oh yeah. I'm psycho like that. I don't
Yeah.
care if somebody else is driving. I'll drive. I don't care.
Hey,
I want to
same
leave when I
same
want
way.
to leave.
Same way. I am the exact same way, dude. I don't like being a passenger. I would much rather drive. And like you said, when I'm ready to leave, I want to leave. And I feel the same way.
I'm the king of the Irish goodbye. You'll
I
turn
hear
around
you.
and I'm just gone.
I hear you, man. I get it. I really do. Joe fan. I'm from Atlanta. I learned to drive in that. Yeah. I mean, once you do it and you get used to it, then like anything, it just becomes the norm. But
Yeah.
I could
The,
see somebody younger not wanting to tackle.
Houston's one of the only towns I absolutely hate to drive in. Like, I mean,
Really?
I just absolutely hate it. It's because when you go down there, it's like the land of the tundra.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a giant fucking truck, and they're all driving 80 or 90. And it's like LA. You have like little drop-in sections all around the city, and the whole
Yeah,
highway wraps around Houston. It sucks, man. You
man.
just feel like you're gonna get run over every 2 seconds.
Yeah, Atlanta's pretty rough. It is, but it's God damn it. I mean, it's been that way for years. But you got people there. Just the way it's constructed, the way the exits are, is you've
Mhm.
got people that are getting on the interstate and trying to work their way all the way to the left, only to then work their way all the way back to the
Yeah,
right to try
idiots.
to get off. It's just wild. It's nothing but
Yeah,
crisscrossing traffic, man. Where Nashville just has this loop around the city, and it's
yeah.
just weird. Um, but it's outside the city where I encounter most of my madness. The interstate's pretty bad, but yeah, most of my shit happens on all the little secondaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, what Pittsburgh's pretty low traffic.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. For
That's
Chicago, as big as
fantastic.
Chicago is, it's not even that big.
Really?
Yeah, it's not.
Well, I would assume a lot of people take the trains too, right?
If you're downtown, but like if you're coming from Jefferson Park or if you're coming to Rodney,
Okay.
it just depends. Like once you get into town and you want to
Yeah.
park and then take the public,
Yeah.
it's okay. You can get around pretty quick that way. But if you're like just coming in from out of town or you're just in the outskirts coming through, it really isn't that bad. I mean, it'll take you a little longer to drive,
Right.
especially through rush hour, but past
Right.
that, it's not too bad.
Um, yeah, I just in the last decade, ours has just grown dramatically, and and I know that's happened to a lot of places around the country. And it's just when you've lived somewhere your whole life, like a particular city,
Yeah.
um, all of a sudden for that to happen, it's kind of like whoa, you almost don't even realize it. Of course, 10 years can go by very quickly,
Dude,
and
I know people that are in their fucking 40s and they've never even left the state. Like it's
really,
wild to me. They're like, I've never been on a plane. I've never left the state. I've never been out of the
wow.
country. It's just like, what the hell? Like,
That I find fascinating.
yeah,
I
blown away.
like leaving the state. It's like I definitely like leaving the state. I've never really lived anywhere else. I've lived within the state, other places, but I've never actually lived anywhere else as far as you know, out of state for any particular time. And I couldn't imagine not ever leaving, like not going on vacation or not, traveling to go visit somebody or go to Vegas, so
Oh
shit, go to
yeah.
the beach, like
Um,
shit.
yeah, people like where I'm from, you can drive from one side of the town to the other side in less than 30 minutes. And I'm like, half the people I know have never even lived in a much bigger city where they don't understand what like 5 o'clock traffic is and what happy hour really means.
Right.
It's like everyone's like, man, I don't understand happy hour around here. And I'm like, well, in a bigger city, you get off, you go get a drink and wait till traffic to die down and go
Yes.
home. Like
Yes.
I go, if you want to network and meet people, go to happy hour because you're going to meet all kinds of business people that are in like it's a whole different world. And yeah,
Yeah. Oh, for
they just
sure.
don't get it. They
Right.
haven't been into a big city.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, you just go kill some time. I mean, I mean, I get that all the time, where I'm at. So people just killing time until, go to happy hour. And then, by the time you leave there, you're in good shape. Well, or bad,
Oh yeah.
it depends. But yeah, as far as traffic, yeah, you're in great shape. So Clint used to live in Pittsburgh. He's now in the home of the Mormons.
Oh yeah.
In Utah, but
Utah.
used to
I
live in
like Salt
Pittsburgh.
Lake.
Yeah,
Salt
I'm
Lake's
sure
not bad
so.
to get around.
No, I'm just
All the way to
kidding. But
Provo, it's not bad at all.
Joe fan, I've been to 37 of 50 states. Been to Canada too. I've never actually. The border guard was an experience. To Canada, I've never been up there. I don't know, man.
I've been to Niagara Falls on both sides of it. It's
Did you
not
ride
bad.
a barrel off of it?
Oh, shit, I wish. put an end to this.
Whee! Actually, just last week, a mom and her 2 kids, she jumped off the damn falls in Niagara with her 2 kids last week.
Holy shit.
Yes, I did. I read that story last week. I was, I usually every day I flip through the news stories and try to find interesting stuff for one of the streams. But yeah, no, I saw that a mom took her 2 kids up there, and evidently she took them with her, jumped over, and no barrel required, I guess. But that's awful. Like that's just awful.
That's
But
horrible. Yeah, it's
but
horrible.
it's not unusual though. It's not. That shit, happens more than you think. I mean, but up there, obviously, the fascination with the going over in a barrel and all that shit, people used to do. I was just like, are you serious? Like, come on. You catch me doing shit like that. Clint lived in Utah, Pennsylvania, Montana, West Virginia. Yeah, it's a variety. That's a good little variety of
Yeah.
climates and people and probably prices too, right? Like just the price of stuff in those different states. It'd be kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
that's something like from being from Missouri, and then I went to college in Denver, and then I lived in California for a while too, and then came back, and those are the only places I've lived like for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of wild coming back. And I mean, I even lived in Italy for 3 years.
Well,
So
my mom and my sister are taking a trip to Italy this year. Actually, that's going to be freaking awesome for
oh yeah,
them. That'll be fun, man. I mean, I would love to go myself, but I can't get a passport actually.
that's what
If you
happens when you rob liquor stores, man.
Well, I had to have that bottle of Evan Williams, man.
Having
It's just one of those days.
I had a
Uh,
time, yeah.
no, if you still owe child support, like I can't get a passport in Tennessee, if
Oh
I
wow,
owe, yeah, so and I still do. And so yeah, you can't get a passport. So
wow,
you can't leave the states.
yeah,
I guess you could petition for one, but it is kind of a bummer because I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. That's just part of the deal. And
yeah.
so yeah, and but there are some places I'd like to go to London, and I know I've heard everybody say, oh fuck London, it's shit. I'd like to go to London at least just to
That's
go. I
cool.
would like to go to Italy, it'd be cool. I'd like to go to Germany, or Belgium. Be a place I'd like to go, and and I really thought about just taking a vacation to North Korea. I just thought that would be fascinating. Maybe go piss off of a
I've been to,
bridge there, shoot some fireworks.
I haven't been to
No, I'm kidding, by the way.
I haven't been to Ireland, and
Ireland would be great.
I haven't been to
Yes.
China. So those are like the
I ain't
only.
fucking with that, bruh.
But I've
I
been
ain't
to.
fucking with that.
I want to go back to Australia. I've been to Australia, but not
Australia would be fun.
any period.
Yes.
I wasn't there for any period of time. But I went all the way through Africa from Cape and drove all the way up to Egypt, which was awesome.
Yeah,
That was
I
cool.
would. In that, those are places like I would love to go, but there ain't no way in the world
Dude,
I'm even coming close to fucking
Africa
with
is
China.
so big. Like I tell people, like they're like, "What was that like?" I'll go, "It was cool, but also miserable." Like the
Yeah,
drive is so long. You don't really,
right,
when you look at the map and you see it, you don't realize how damn big that. It's a continent. It's not a state. It's
right,
ridiculous.
right. Yes, yeah. No, that'd be a hell of a challenge, though, man. I don't know. But even still, like you could find yourself in places out there where all of a sudden, you get some dudes roll up in a jeep, and
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, take your shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was like a major concern. Like when
Yeah,
the time that we went and did that, it was like really dangerous. Like, and we didn't realize how dangerous it was.
yeah.
And we literally bought this Volkswagen like sandrail, and we had all these ghillie tanks filled with gas, and we literally looked like we're driving all the way through that. We looked like we just left the Burning Man. We were like all covered in dust, just like it was like three of us, and we drove all the way across that, and then we ended up getting on a military transport after it. It was just a long trip, man. It was crazy. But yeah, it was pretty nuts. And then when we got up to Egypt and everything, they were like doing some wild shit. They were like bombing Peace Corps buses and all this stuff. They're like, yeah, you guys
Shit.
are leaving. We're like, all right. So then
Yeah.
we ended up flying to Spain, and then from Spain we went back into Italy. It was stupid.
Yeah, that I like the Spain part. I like the Italy part. Yeah, the other part, I don't know, man. That's the hairs start raising up on your
It
neck,
was,
you
dude.
know.
It's really. I will say this though, like of all the places I've been, Africa's beautiful, man.
I
Like
have no doubt
there's
about it.
some unbelievable like landscape shit like you'll never forget.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when you're like you're coming through like a desert, and then the next thing know, like you can see like the jungle and the mountains, and then the next step of the trip you're coming off, and it's all like wet marshlands and
right.
birds, and dude, it's nuts. It's
Yeah, no, I bet it is, and I mean that's the one thing I'd like to see. I guess just because you get so wrapped up in what things look like over here, and you just don't, think about it. It's like what it would be like to be somewhere where it does not look like what you are around in your everyday
Yeah,
life, right?
that's like one of the crazy things. Like whenever I was in Italy for as long as I was, and we went everywhere, and traveled on the trains, and just I screwed up. My girlfriend was in school, and she would literally try and get rid of me because I would be getting drunk all the time and smoking weed and acting like a maniac. She would be like, "You need to go find your friends and go away for a week. I got to study and I got shit to do." So I would have to leave, but
Like, okay,
yeah, it would be okay. I'll call my friends. And there's this giant Australian guy, and he used to just mad drinking, and we used to have a blast. We it was literally like how like you act up when you're on vacation.
oh
That's literally
sure,
like what it was all the time. We just be
right,
out somewhere, and you can get away with an unreasonable amount of shit in some countries because they're just like, oh, they're just asshole Americans. Fuck them. But
yeah.
I will say that yeah, we definitely had a blast, man. Germany is like the one place you can't fuck around. Like it doesn't matter where you're from. You don't play around there. You'll end up in jail.
Really,
Yeah, I did for a whole night. It sucked.
that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, and they're not very nice. They're not very
I
nice.
yeah,
Uh,
and just the accent and the language itself sounds
yeah,
very harsh.
there's a lot of really cool places in Italy to go though. Your mom and sister will have a great time.
Yeah, no,
And
I
there's
bet
a
I know they're gonna love it.
I would my advice would be to really research where they're going first. And there's some really cool places to go and check out. And some of the touristy stuff is like a wham bam get in, get out. Like
Yeah,
don't waste a whole lot of time on it because there's a lot of other cooler places to go. Like everyone
right.
be like, oh, we want to go to Venice. And I'm like, Venice really isn't that nice. Like there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Florence will
sure.
blow your mind compared to Venice. Like there's
Right.
just all
And
kinds of
and
stuff.
and that's the thing, right? It's like trying to research and look up and then and everything. And look, I know my mom, I know my sister definitely too, but I know my mom and there's just certain things. She's the type of person that has an itinerary and you stick to it, right? It's like we got to get up at 7 a.m. and we've got to go here, we've got to go there, we need to go here and there. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how she operates when it comes to vacations and stuff. Very rarely is it just, hey, let's just chill or whatever, right? So she'll have all kinds of stuff planned out to want to go do, and they're taking trains and whatnot, and everything. So as they get closer to it, I'll find out more about it. It is funny. Three Star was telling about going to China, so you could go over there and get a toy connection for us, so we'd have somebody on the
That's
inside.
I
Uh,
I will say that I've been to Japan a couple of times.
yeah,
I've got a really good friend that lives there, and I would like go over and stay for a few weeks and come back and stuff. And I will say this: if you're a bigger dude, Japan is not for you. Like it's just not. It's that
really.
place is built for little people.
Oh, you know what? That makes
Like
sense. I get
like
that.
you're not.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm
totally.
much bigger now than than I was whenever I used to go, but it was
Yeah,
still just uncomfortable. Like
yeah,
if you're over 225, 230 pounds and you're 6 foot tall, it is not going to be comfortable for you.
yeah.
Just to be
I
honest.
could. Yeah, I could fully understand that.
Yeah.
Let's see, France. They're
You're gonna be
pretty mean
standing a
compared
lot
to
because seats are
Germany.
too small. cabs.
Um,
They'll have to send a bigger cab to
well,
get
well,
you.
well. Think about it. I mean, the reality is that as a people, they're relatively small,
Oh yeah.
right? And so it's just you're going to design everything around, that. I mean, it just that totally makes sense. And then I
Oh
guess,
yeah.
yeah, for somebody that's bigger, it would be a pain in the ass to go over there and try to,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, like you said, just the seats and everything, and then if you're tall, especially,
Oh yeah.
of course, it is funny when you see people go over there that are real tall, and then it's like you see kind of video or a picture, and they just stand out. And
Absolutely. Oh no, you're like a giant. It really
yeah,
is. Wow.
right. Frostbite says I like going overseas and doing stuff on the fly. Yeah, I like that. I mean, if it's the first time I've ever been somewhere, I'd like to at least have a plan of attack. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather have some kind of plan to go by. And then maybe the next time say, okay, I'm going to kind of freelance it, right? I'm just going to kind of just do whatever. But if I'm going somewhere, I kind of need to know, okay, the lay of the land, where stuff is, where to go, where not to go, right? I don't want to find myself in some situation, right?
I'll,
And
I'll tell you,
if I,
like I see more Australians like in Bangkok and places like that. That place is like Disneyland to people from Australia.
okay,
It's like every
yeah,
time I'm over there, it's just packed with Australians.
I mean, I think too, just from people, over in Europe and other places, and just the way that I think they look at travel is different than we do,
Oh
and the way they go about it is definitely,
yeah,
much different. I mean, um, Joe fan wants to go to Japan so bad. I'd like to go to Japan too.
yeah. And like you were saying earlier, like whenever you go somewhere that looks just so completely different from where you're from, it's kind of mind trippy whenever like you've seen the movie Gladiator and then you're sitting in a hotel and you can see the
Oh
Spanish
yeah,
stairs
right,
and you can
right,
see the Coliseum and you're like, bro, right
r-
there is where people just got their heads cut
right, yeah.
off. Like it's kind of crazy.
Well, and that's also the other cool factor about going places like that because they're much older than we are, and there's much more history there.
Yeah.
That's the parts that I'd be super interested in. The historical parts of it, really,
Oh yeah.
and then just to see the culture, and how people live and how they look at things and of course, most of the places you go to, they're going to speak English, right? I mean, if you're at
Mostly,
least
yeah.
in
No,
most, you
it's
can
kind of
obviously get outside of that, but
it's kind of odd. Like over there, you have to pick up a foreign language, and you don't necessarily get to choose it. Like when you're like before the education system may have changed now, but before, like literally, you would have to take some foreign language, in high school, and it would you're not necessarily getting to choose it. They choose it, you learn it. It's that simple.
where at?
Oh, in Italy, like
Oh, okay,
it was kind
okay,
of wild. I was like, really? And they were like, well, yeah, we have neighboring countries, so they make sure that we have at least two other languages that we can.
yeah,
It's pretty
yeah, yeah,
straight up. Like they don't mess around about it.
yeah,
But
man.
most of them, there's a lot of them that speak English, or they understand you enough to get by.
Yeah, I would say, and I know, my mom was going through. I'd heard her the other day. She was going through like some of the phrases and stuff like that, about like what to say and all that. I was thinking, well, you really don't have to do that. Although out of courtesy, if you want to, because people that come over here, they don't give a fuck about learning English, but especially the ones that move here. But if you go over there, then it's more of a respect thing. Although I think they probably kind of laugh about it
Yeah.
myself. But I could totally see where, like, just trying to respect their language, maybe learn few phrases that you can
Oh
use.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't think there's anything's wrong with that at all. But I think most people would speak English though, if you're going over there, especially as a tourist, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But let's see, our neighbor's son
Except
moved to Thailand 10 years
Germany's one
ago.
where they'll act like
Oh
they
wait,
can't speak it. They're assholes. French are kind of like that too.
yeah. Clint says our neighbor's son moved to Thailand 10 years ago and now is their biggest YouTuber.
Yeah, that's badass.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty
It-
wild.
Another thing over there, they don't really give a shit about politics like we do here.
Oh yeah, no, no,
Like
no, no.
they,
Most of the world
like
doesn't care
they,
about politics the
they
way
could
we do
literally
here.
say that so and so was cheating on his wife. They don't care. Is he doing his job? Cool. Like they
Yes.
don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, they don't
And
give
they
a
think it's
shit
really
about this stuff.
strange the way we just glorify celebrities and stuff. They think it's really
Celebrities and obsessed over like the whole gender stuff and the identity stuff and all this. Yeah, they think we're fucking fruitcakes over here.
Yep, absolutely.
With good reason, actually. I don't know. Yeah, it is interesting because I do have a few people that come into work from other places, and I usually will have those conversations with them, cultural conversations and stuff like that, and ask them maybe some of their biggest differences they've picked up on, things that they've noticed or whatever, and that's usually it usually comes up at some point in time. That always usually comes up.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joe fan, I guess if you were in any of those five countries or regions, then at least that you'd be able to get something to eat. That's let's see, what does Frostbite say here? My favorite thing to chat to Yanks about when I went to Pearl Harbor for a few weeks was gun control and Medicare. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I bet they did love you. Well, considering, in Australia and the healthcare system there too, I could see where that may not go over so well with people here. And some people it would. Some people it would. Just depends on who you talk to.
The Australian buddies of mine that have come here to visit and hang out, they're always blown away because I live in Bass Pro headquarters. So
okay.
Here we've got as many gun ranges as we've got church and alcohol.
Sure.
It's not like everyone here has guns. Everyone. Sure. Yeah. And not like one. Like people here just have arsenals. It's insane.
No.
If you're somewhere from a big city where people really don't have guns and want to come here, it's like terrifying. You're like, what? Like everyone's strapped in the room. Don't worry about it. Wild.
So look, to finish up, because it is about what? Well, I've been on for 2.5 hours, I guess. I did want to have, I did want to show these videos, and you can watch them with me. I kind of wanted to go through some of these. They're either tweets, videos, or whatever. I think some of this stuff is just great, and it's my idiots of the day is what I call it.
Let's see it.
Let's see here. Let me back this one up. Let's turn this one up. So this is a woman who got out of her car at a Chick-fil-A to argue with the people in the drive-thru window.
Oh,
and you guys can see how this is going to go.
This is great.
Get your car. You understand?
Uh-oh.
Concern, ma'am.
Oh.
Oh, God. Please tell her to stop. Oh, my God. Tell her to get away from the car.
Please tell her to stop. Look at motherfucker. Oh, my God.
Hey, y'all come back. She called somebody.
Where did this happen at? Did this happen in the South somewhere?
I have no idea. What was her license plate? Show the car again.
I don't know. Let's see if we can see it.
Get your car.
Oh, it's just not good. Let's see. Video quality. It's on auto. Ugh. My video quality. Check this shit out. Look at the video quality. Can you read that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn.
What?
That's horrible.
666p?
Yeah, that's horrible.
What is that shit? I've never seen that in my life.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at those pants, though.
I didn't know people
sexy,
had handy cams in their car. That's ridiculous.
But I saw this and I was like, what a fucking idiot. Leaving
We had that
drive.
happen here one time. We were where my whiskey house was up on the top of this roof and it overlooked this restaurant below.
Yeah.
And we saw this guy come out to get in his car and somehow it shifted into gear and like drove off the embankment off the side into the fucking highway.
Oh,
and,
shit.
We went down and we took pictures of it and then we put it like on Facebook and it said,
oh, beautiful.
Hands, another satisfied customer. the owner, and it's owned by the O'Reilly company. They were like, come on, man, take that shit down.
O'Reilly's.
So, yeah, then they got it removed, and then I'd screenshot it and just started sharing it everywhere. Fuck them.
Oh, it's beautiful. He's called somebody. Y'all just come and Oh my God. Call the cops. Call the cops. Oh my God, I loved it. All right. Let's see here. Then we have so not all of them are videos, but I do have this is from a Harley Quinn comic that I just saw. And this is funny because this guy posted, he said, what happened in comics? And so we get this panel and it's explaining to Harley. Says, "See, you can shoot Joker in the face, but it's much harder to shoot issues like homophobia or systemic racism."
That's great.
Because that's where comics are at now.
I'm
And I love this because it's like, what changed in comic books? And then I love it. Somebody says comic books have always been political. Really?
not like that.
Really? There's a huge difference between Transmetropolitan and this Harley Quinn.
Yeah. To me, that makes about as like that guy doesn't read comic books. He's the same guy.
Oh yeah.
Crypto's in the new Superman movie. Finally, legitimate. I'm like, no, Crypto's never in the comic books.
Yeah.
Asian at best.
But I just loved it. I saw this and I was like, really? What a statement. And yes, you'll find that in a lot of comics now, sadly.
Yeah.
That's what
it's cutting really way back though. It has in the last
year. You're right. It has in the last year. Now I wanted to
was
what's
DC,
that?
DC made the adjustment fast. Like when shit went south for them, they started making adjustments quick.
Yeah, no, you're right. So then here, I wanted to title this one "Praying for a Poop." I've never seen this before in my life, but as you will see, something I never thought that I would see, and I can say now that I have. Oh, just wait.
I don't even know what to say about that. I've seen with our business in India, like we've been over to India and stuff like a couple of times, and I've seen like where they go and just shit in the field and stuff, and then like come back over and like everything's normal. It's kind of weird, but
Shit.
I've seen that kind of
Oh
stuff.
my God. I mean, what the hell? Just a big old pile of shit. And then they pull him out, and yet, nah, he's good. You thought he was like suffocating, right? You're like, oh, they got to get that guy out of there. This is what a prank. And it's like, no, this was on purpose. This was
But my question is, where all this shit come from? Is it human shit or like animal shit? Like where? I need to know what kind of shit that is.
I just, oh boy, yeah. So the next one is the Allstate CEO, Tom Wilson. This was after the attacks in New Orleans. This was the CEO of Allstate, and this was his response.
Welcome to the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust, and accept people's imperfections and differences.
Are you fucking kidding me? You want to talk about fucking tone deaf?
Well, why does Allstate even need to make a blanket statement like that?
Right.
Like,
right. Now, I'm curious about Allstate. And I want to look it up so bad. Oh yeah, Allstate's ESG investments include climate-related investments, low-income housing tax credits, energy transition theme, agriculture and timber portfolio, diverse investment sponsors, minority women and veteran business enterprises. Um, yeah, they're all about some ESG and DEI stuff. So that's where this comes from. And that's just the fact of it. So the reason they felt they needed to make a statement is because it comes from their belief as a company in all of that shit. So accepting people's differences and addiction of divisiveness. That is so fucking tone deaf after what just happened that this is what they would come out and do. I mean, and so this is one of my idiots of the day because when I saw this, I couldn't fucking believe my ears. And this played on TV, by the way. But before the Sugar Bowl. A fucking idiot. And of course they even forgot. Oh my god. Anyway, never mind. So nonetheless, all right, let's see here. Moving on, I have a great one that many of you may find quite interesting. Um,
That's great. That's great.
yeah, yeah. Who's gonna tell them? Indeed.
Yes. Got the message.
Yep. Oh God, it's just better and better and better and better.
It just
All
never
right.
stops. It's like a celebrity that goes to every event just trying to make sure they're seen.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Yes, exactly. And so here we go. Here is an Amazon driver who's delivering packages in the hood and thought that it would be okay to
I saw this.
leave the van.
Yeah, they ain't playing.
These niggas in the truck, okay? Look, working right now.
They're just standing there. And what are you gonna do?
Oh my god. These niggas hell, man. Shorty hell.
Yep.
Look at that shit.
These niggas in the truck.
I mean,
And it's screwed up too because then just like the post office, hey, we don't deliver to that area anymore.
yeah. Well,
It's the pickup.
it's pretty fucked up. Yeah. I mean, like, how are you supposed to even do that job? Like at somewhere like that? Like, what are you even supposed to do?
Did you see the courtroom where the guy goes off about liberal laws in California and how they can't do anything about people coming in and stealing, and how they got to put things behind glass and stuff?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
The guy flipped out.
Yes. Let's see here. This one, oh gosh. Let's see. Shark Eyes is in the Chizzy chat there. Categorically wrong and on thin ice, buddy.
He's talking about Vegemite. That guy probably drinks Victorian bitters too. That's gross too.
Oh man. All right, let's see. I've got one more. You guys have all seen you've all seen Squid Game. I know you love it. I know you
I already
have.
watched it all.
And
I blazed through that.
okay, well, I have not watched season 2 yet. I will be watching season 2.
Yeah.
And I've got several days off from work, and so I wanted to knock out season 2. So I wanted to show you this video because this is the people that they're the guards for the games, right? They're the ones that come out. They've got the guns, right? They tell everybody in place. They keep everybody in place at the game so they don't riot or, right? They come out and they kill people too, right? They're wearing the suits with the masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is them going to work the other day. And boarding the train.
Officers have the square and the God, what are they called? They've got different names. Officers have the square. The circle
Yes.
is called something else, and then the
Yeah,
triangle.
Yeah.
The
So this
triangle
is
like lieutenant.
this is them going to
That's
work
great.
the other day. And dude on a scooter, and then oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
He's
They
gonna be
just
late.
left that motherfucker behind.
He's gonna be late for work now. He might get killed. He'll be fucking around. I hear the boss is pretty intolerant.
This is just great. I'm like,
I've got
just-
one of those masks somewhere.
like, what just happened? Poor
Yeah,
guy.
When the movie came out that Halloween, we all dressed up like those guys. It was a good time.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. That was yeah, I love that show, man. When it came out, it was so damn good.
Yeah, definitely after you watch the first season, we'll talk about it.
Well, I've watched the first season. I've watched. It's
second season,
the
sorry.
second season. I have not watched it. I started it the other night, and then I kind of got. I don't know what the hell. My ADHD goes crazy, and I get
Yeah, I'm the same way,
redirected.
dude. I get scatterbrained.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, fuck, I meant to watch it, and then I completely just, lost the plot, right? And so let's see here. Oh yeah, naughty. What is the naughty girl fitness? What is that shit?
Did I sent that to you? Did I?
Yes.
That I
Like,
don't even know what that was. I was
I-
watching. I was like, I'm watching this all the time. Fuck it.
I don't know. I don't know what it is either, but I do want to show you guys this one.
It
This
is
is
ridiculous.
This is just great. This is just great. I can't help it. I got to show this one too. This is entitled "The Strip Club" on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Gonna get y'all some.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is the best in the corner.
Fucking quarter.
I sent that literally to every stripper I know.
Oh my God. Oh, it hurts. Stop it. Stop it.
That's we call those junior varsity strippers.
Oh, dude.
They work the day
Yes.
shift only.
Yes, that is
Uh,
oh God, that is good, man. That is really good shit. Some of this stuff you guys send me, because you send me some good stuff too, man. Like I do. I absolutely crack up at some of these memes that come. And then some of them, like, I'm like, can I share this? Can I not share this? It's like, I don't know. But anyway, um, yeah, no, I can't share that today either. Oh well. Anyway, so look, I don't know. That's pretty much about all I got in almost 3 hours. There's some video, a couple video game news. Well, not even really news. It's kind of what's expected in the next year. What's going to be released, and got some of these lists, which there's some pretty good shit actually coming out. But now I don't know how much you really play. As far as gaming wise, if you really ever get on much, at all.
I've been playing the Indiana Jones game.
I'm having
pretty
fun
good.
with it.
It's
I
pretty good.
actually like that game. I
Yeah,
really
it's fun.
do. It's not one that you speed
really-
through.
One of my favorite things about the whole game, not even the game, but once you get a clue and you go to the next year, it does the little map and plays the music.
Yeah. Oh
love
yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
love that. I think it's just like the best.
Yeah, no, dude, I do. I've been enjoying that. I think anybody that if you have an Xbox in particular and have Games Pass and you're signed up to that, it's free for you. I mean, obviously you pay every month, but if not, yeah, pick the game up. It is fun, and the voice actor does a really good job of it too, man.
Yeah, no, he
He
sounds
does a
really
really good job. And so yeah, no, I've been having fun with it, but it's not just a fast paced, you kind of have to search for clues when you're looking at your map. You actually have to hold the map,
Mhm.
and look at it while you're walking. A
There's-
lot of stealth stuff like that, but it is fun, and the cutscenes are really good. It's got good acting. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
yeah, good cutscenes and everything, man.
Yeah, if you're expecting Drake's Fortune, you're going to be disappointed. 'Cause
You
it's
will
not.
be disappointed. And I'm glad actually they didn't go that direction. And I
Yeah,
think the reason why is because they knew that that's exactly because, Uncharted got compared to Tomb Raider.
it did. It did. Which
But
I think it did. I think it was a better game than Tomb
well,
Raider.
right. I think I think the
Yeah.
the overall story and the cutscenes in it. Now, I would say that some of the gameplay was a little janky, and
It
Tomb
was.
Raider was a little janky. But I
Yeah.
think they had those action set pieces where every game had sections where you were sliding down a mountain and you had to
Yeah.
dodge stuff
Oh
and then
yeah.
jump at the right moment, and stuff. And that's what made those games really fun. And I love the Uncharted games, but yeah, I think this, if it had gone that direction, it's not what this team is known for. This team is known for first person. They did the Wolfenstein games.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about the Wolfenstein
Oh yeah. I played
games,
several of those.
I love those too. And so that's more of their speed. So it being a
I
first
don't
person.
stay on top of like all the new games coming out because I just don't focus on games.
Yeah, no,
But
totally
like,
understand.
I mean, I used to hardcore. Like in the last probably 4 years, I just haven't. Through
Yeah.
COVID though, dude, I was a gaming fucking monster. That's like all I did was like anything I could play online with people or whatever, I would just go crazy with it. But then I
Yeah.
just had to do a big chill down. But I don't even know what's coming out. When I watched your little video on some of the new stuff, the Onimusha. Oh, I'll play that.
Oh
I
yeah,
love,
yeah,
I
right.
love Onimusha.
Yeah, Onimusha, that one, it's been a long time since
Yeah,
game had a new one. And then Joe Fan, yeah, it's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is what it's called. And it's fun. It's fun. It's a good game, man. Good fun game. It's a game you can take your time with. There's no rush to have to finish it, but it's easy to put in a few hours of if you have a few hours, right? It's kind of hard to put in an hour at a time here or there because you ain't gonna get much done. All right, that's just kind of game it is. It's not. It's a very deliberate game. It's not a super fast paced game, but yeah, it is a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't get on to Warcraft.
shark guys. If you're from Melbourne, you drink VB out of a carton. That's great.
Nectar of the gods. That's great. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Glad Shark Eyes stopped in here, man. Yeah, Frostbite. No, I can't. I'm telling you, dude. The Warcraft thing, like I can't do those like
Yeah.
massive MMO games like
Yeah,
that.
I get burnt out on them because of my ADHD. I'll get burnt out and then have to come
Same
back
for
to it.
me. Same for me. That's exactly what happens for me. I've tried a few, but yeah,
The,
same thing
the
for me.
reason like why games like Onimusha and stuff like that are really fun for me is the addicted of the upgrade. Like the more I can upgrade my powers and unlock, I
Yeah.
get so many orbs, then I get more orbs, and I something like what the hell's the name of that one game that was out forever ago? Like I just would not stop playing it.
Was it a Kung Fu
SmackDown
game?
or
Oh, what?
or
The
well, not SmackDown. The one where you like the police officer and you run around and grab the different agility orbs. The
Oh,
fire
Crackdown.
Crackdown.
Yeah,
Dude, like,
Crackdown.
games like that, I'll just play religiously.
Yeah, Crackdown. That the first one was fun. I remember.
Yeah,
So
it's
my
like cool stuff.
cousin, so Three Star had an Xbox and I had a PlayStation, and Crackdown was an Xbox exclusive, and it wasn't on PlayStation, and I remember him having the first Crackdown, and he loved that game. He played
Yeah,
that shit
Crackdown
all
was
the time.
badass, man.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Crackdown 1. Yeah, it got a little worse, and then the one they just tried to put out there was
Yeah, the one with Terry Crews. I think
not good. Yeah, it took forever to develop, and then when they put it out, it was not good
dog
at
shit.
all. It's about 10 years too late, the tech and everything. Like
agree with
10,
that.
10 or 12 years ago. But yeah, no, I mean, there are some games I am excited for that are coming out, this year. I mean, just look, I'll just throw it up here on the screen for those that are actually kind of interested in January. You've got a Donkey Kong Returns HD on the Switch for those
Oh
that
yeah.
really like that. You've got Final Fantasy VII coming out on PC. Star Wars Hunters on PC, which I'm not even familiar with. You can actually this article, if for those that are interested, I'll put this article in the chat. It's Game Rant, but this breaks it down by month, and I think it's great. It's like the first half, yeah, games in October, and then some that are to be announced. But kind of going down the list, I know that there's a few in here for sure. Atomic Heart is an interesting game. It's that's a DLC. I didn't really care as much for the original game, but the DLC it looks wild. It's a cyberpunk future Russia with robot android sexy women that like can kill you. It's wild. You should look a trailer up for Atomic Heart. It is wild, dude.
Nice.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's the next Assassin's Creed game that a lot of people will probably be interested in. Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remastered. That's
Oh, right on. I'm kind of interested in the Tony Hawk, the pro skater.
Yeah. Yep. And then Avowed is the next Obsidian like big time RPG. They're the ones that made Fallout New Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah, they're and several other games, Pillars of Eternity, and some other stuff, man. They're that should be actually pretty badass. We'll see. But I was trying to see if there was anything else just in the first half. Oh, Atomfall. Atomfall is a post-apocalyptic
oh no,
game.
I saw the Atom Fall.
Yeah, it looks
That's
all
on
right.
Hulu right now.
Yeah, I'll have to see what the if they've gotten the jank out of it. But some of what I've seen of gameplay, there's a little bit of some jankiness. In April, what do we have? Let's see there.
Have you heard anything about that Bleach Rebirth?
I have not actually.
You're on PlayStation though, right?
I have all of them actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have all of them too, but I mostly am just on Xbox. I don't fuck with PlayStation too much except for the exclusive games.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, so many years I've been invested in a Xbox.
So this is the big one right here that everybody's hoping for next year.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
my mom will be fucking lit up about that.
Yeah, it might get pushed back. Joe Fist says, I love Devil May Cry. What's that?
My mom is a hardcore gamer.
That's cool.
Like she's 77, bro.
That's awesome.
And she is like a World of Warcraft, and she plays Elder Scrolls, and I call it Elderly Scrolls. And she plays, and she'll like. I mean, there was one time I was hanging out with her, like here not too long back, and she was going on about this house. She's like, I bought this house, and you can only put this many cars in it, and I just feel like I'm just pissed off about it. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's talking about Grand Theft Auto. And I'm just like she'll just start going on about some shit. Like you're supposed, like anytime you talk to my mom about video games, it's like you jumped into the conversation and you don't even know what's going on with the conversation.
I understand that.
She'll
I get
call
it.
and wake me up at like 3 a.m. Hey, what are you doing right now? Nothing. You want to play Grand Theft Auto with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, Mom, I'll play with you. So I put on the headset, start playing with her, and she goes, I'm going to come by and pick you up in my car. I'm like, okay. And then, like, I'm out there on the street waiting for her to get there. And then she runs me over, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, take that, motherfucker. She just hateful shit she does. It's hilarious. Like, wake you up, get you to play with her just so she can run you over with her car. Stuff like that, dude. Just
hey man, the thing of it is, I mean, if she was able to, but if she started her own YouTube channel, you'd be surprised. Like people would absolutely eat that shit up. Because you have the Skyrim lady. She's like a grandma. She's like the Skyrim grandma, and she plays the shit out of. Everybody knows her. They're even putting her in the new game. They're putting like like she may not even be alive, but they're actually going to put her as an NPC in the new Skyrim, the new Elder Scrolls game. Yeah. They had her come in and they did all the like facial scan shit, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah,
Because my mom in Elderly Scrolls, she's been playing now like since Skyrim, and
right.
she's nonstop with it, man. Like
Yeah, that's cool, man.
it's
No, I
wild.
love it. Yeah, here, real quick. Yeah, nobody's gonna play the new Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, it's no one in Japan. I can tell you that they've pissed off the Japanese with that because they.
Oh, did they?
Oh
I
yeah,
never after like the first or second Assassin's Creed, I think I played the Valhalla one, and that was the last one I even attempted to play. It's just the same shit over and over again. It got old.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
I
like playing anything from Bungie. It's like Halo. It's fucking Halo. That's all you guys.
yeah. Hey, well, and there was a time, obviously, yeah, that Halo was. People
Yeah.
were waiting outside at midnight to purchase the new game, and it had it. Those things kind of had its time, but after so many, I just don't know that you can really. What else can you do with it? They
Yeah.
kind of fucked up the story. They've kind of fucked up their own game in a way, and
Yeah.
then the popularity waned. I mean, look back in those days when you could recognize a gaming company by its mascot.
Oh yeah.
Xbox had Master Chief, and Sony had you could like a Crash Bandicoot, or
Yeah.
something, and then Nintendo obviously had several. But you that was back in the day when each console, and it's now it's all blended together. I mean, Mario will
Yeah.
always be Mario, but
Yeah.
ultimately, at the end of the day, it's
And
like
they
it's
got
become,
cross-platform everything.
yeah, it's all
The
blended
one
now.
company I wish would come back is Oddworld because they used to do it like
Yeah, Abe's Odd
the
World.
Abe's Odyssey and
Uh-huh.
the Steve game. The Steve
Yeah.
game was crazy.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
what Wanted or whatever it was, where he was the bounty hunter. That thing was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
bullets, he had like the
Yep.
different animals he would load in his gun and shoot them. That thing was fun.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's things are a lot different now. I mean, the budgets are a lot different now. You can't
Oh
get a game out within 4 or 5 years. I mean, hell, between Fallout releases from 2015, the
yeah,
next Fallout
and
might
just that
be
like
15 years after that, more than
most of the
that.
games they put out, there's just all this jankiness to them. Like, you wait that long and you just want the game to run smooth and just be
Right.
100 from the get.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Dave agrees with you. Oddworld, that was really cool stuff. And Joe Fez never played an Assassin's Creed. Hey man, if you go play Assassin's Creed, go back and play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's the one that
Pyro,
I recommend. Yes. That's the one I
I heard
recommend.
good things
Assassin's
about that.
Creed Black Flag. It's badass, dude. That's a great one.
And I love Borderlands. I love both the Borderland games.
Yeah, the Borderland. For me, I think once I got to the second one, and I know the second one a lot of people like more than the first.
Mm,
Once I got to the second one though, I was it was too samey for me,
yeah,
and I
no,
was
I
like,
agree with that.
okay, I've had enough. I was like,
The,
I've had
the
enough
first one,
Borderlands.
the first one was hard to get into, but once you got like a couple hours into it, it got awesome.
Right.
Like
Yeah, the pirate one, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Yeah, and they are actually remastering it.
the God
And
of War games were
let's
badass.
see.
I
Wait,
think
remaster's only been out 4 or 5 years. Oh, let's take a risk on it. Black Flag's been out longer than 4 or 5 years. And you might be talking about something else. So I don't know. 3 star. I could be wrong on that. But Black Flag's been out for a while. And but yeah, they actually are. I think they are remastering it too. But
really.
just Joe fan, yeah, just go back and play it. I mean, says he has a hard time with games, ADHD. Trust me, I'm with you, man. But you know what? You know what actually helps me with my ADHD is games because I
Yeah.
stay
Oh yeah,
focused.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
focus, I'll sit, and I'll you know
I thought
dial
that
in.
Starlight game was going to be way better, and it visually is awesome, but it just gets boring.
Uh, which one?
The StarCraft or Starlight
Oh,
game.
yeah, no, yeah, no, not for me.
Yeah,
And then oh hell, the ship game that's
yeah,
also always online. They even have it in
yeah,
VR. It's the oh my gosh, Sean
yeah,
Murray. It's the Sean Murray thing. It's No
yeah,
Man's Sky. No
yeah.
Man's Sky. That was the
Yes.
one. Yeah. Yeah, not crazy about Skull and Crossbones is garbage. Do not waste your money on that game, anyone. Do
That'd be
not.
like playing that fucking pirate game.
It is it's like a fucking mobile game, and the CEO of Ubisoft called it the first quadruple A game ever. No, it's a quadruple piece of shit.
That's awesome.
Trust me, it is no good. And so man, I'm about wore out.
Do it.
Got a few things to do. I'm glad you hopped on there. I didn't know if he's gonna get on. I sent it on Instagram,
Yeah.
but then I was right in the middle of that. I saw your text. I was like, okay, well, let me shoot it on Instagram real quick.
I was,
and then
I was in the back room trying to get all those. I finally got all my shelves up and everything in that back room.
Sweet.
So I'm trying to unload toys and get everything put away.
well, I'm working on that myself.
Yeah,
I am kind of getting used to having the fireplace though in the background. I
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like
alright.
it, to be honest with
I
you.
like it.
But I do have some shelving and then more shelving I've got that's going right here. And so when I can get the desk turned around and I can get like, the TV in another spot, eventually I'll have it the way I want it. But for
Yeah.
right now, it's like, man, it's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, for me, it was
Yeah.
just putting all the shelves together, which I did most of them
Yeah.
about a month or so ago.
That's
But now
cool.
I'm getting all the tubs that I've got full. Like I've just got toys and tubs everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to start. And this is just the shit I've bought since I've been here. So it's just like, let's start unloading some of this shit, put it on shelves so I can see what I got.
I hear you. I hear you.
And then I'm going to
It's the same
start.
for me.
And if there's anybody out there that needs Joe's, I'm going to start blowing out a lot of my extras.
Oh shit. Well, there you go.
You guys got gaps, let me know because I've got fucking 5 or 6 of everything.
Well, there's a couple I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, there's a couple. Well, if you want to hang for a second while I roll it out, man.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Anyway, well, I'll be on Tuesday night with Matthew at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central for the evening blend. Bringing some more movie stuff, obviously, to you guys, and I've got a couple of stories that I saved here that I'm going to talk about on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, I do have Sevens Wild with 3-Star Draw on his channel.
I'll go over there and talk a lot of shit. It'll be great.
There you go. That's what I like to hear, baby. But that's at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Wednesday night. So that's where you can find me the next few days. In the meantime, I'm off for almost a week, so I am going to be trying to rearrange this shit. But yeah, y'all find War Chest on Instagram and hit him up and find out what he's got. If you want some Joes, find out, and sure he'll let you know. But anyway, so yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We moved it to a Saturday night, but thanks for tuning in on Saturday night. And this is War Chest full of toys. Coming to hang out for a little while. I am Pop Blender. I'll see y'all Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Friday. Y'all take it easy.